Welcome to Tokyo and Tulsa. I'm Corbin Hosler. I have Jared Cole back in the booth with me today, and we are bringing to you right now in Champion Select the championship best of 5 in the Plat-Capped tournament here in the last day of Tokyo and Tulsa. It's been a great weekend, a great convention. We've seen a lot of League of Legends played, a lot of really good games. We saw Team Unicorn defend the title in the uncapped side of the bracket yesterday, and now we have two new teams in the Plat-Capped championship as the defending champions. United as one were knocked out in the semis yesterday. So we have here on the blue side 4.5 white guys. The story here is they have some members of the team, Yeet AF, who has been trying to take down a tournament, has a lot of second place finishes, particularly against this organization on the red team, Team Land Snakes, who have a contingent here. Organization that goes to a lot of tournaments, has a lot of high finishes, and they're here to try to take down Tokyo and Tulsa. So this has been a great weekend. I'm looking forward to what we have here. Jared, I know you got to actually play a little Legends yesterday.
I did, yeah.
So
got to jump in on the uncapped because the mid laner dropped out.
Yeah, how that? It seems like that was a pretty good experience. You got to go up against Quantum and his team there on the uncapped side.
We wound up getting second place, first losers. So I had to live with that my whole life. But yeah, it was good.
But fortunately, you do have a medal to show for it.
Oh yeah. Hashtag humble brags. You didn't think I would have it at the table ready to show?
That's how much Tokyo and Tulsa means to people. We he got that medal. He's going to cherish it for his life. But let's talk about this game here. Champion bands coming out. Vladimir, Talia, Ezreal on the blue side, and Zach Van Gangplank on the right. That is almost certainly some targeted bans.
Yeah. Gangplank basically dropped off the face of the earth when they took the crit out of Triforce.
Right.
And no one played him anymore. Vayne dropped off when they nerfed Bork again. And, you know, Zach was never on the face of the earth. So
oh, he was.
These are pretty obviously target bans. None of these are really meta mainstays.
Right. So I wouldn't say he was on the face of the earth. More like flying over it.
Yeah, sure.
Back in, like, Season 3 when he came out, he was broken.
Yep.
But it's been a minute since then, so it's almost certainly a target ban. The picks that do come through. First one, Shafty taking up Gragas. Not surprising there to see them take just a really reliable jungler.
Zillion's an interesting pick.
Zillion is an interesting pick, especially since they also have Alistair here.
Stick some bombs on him, send in the cow.
Send in the cow, sing in the Fat Man as well. That's a lot of tank and, you know, pick them back up. And we think we're going to have some team fights because on the other side we have Braum Sejuani picked up.
Yep. 4.5 white guys are going to have to pick up some high damage champions, some sort of high damage carry, because right now they're really lacking damage.
Right, absolutely. We do see, as we hover, a Jhin and a Misfortune.
We could see another Jhin mid here.
Could be a Jhin. It's certainly looking like a Jhin mid. I don't think we're getting trolled in Champ Select this time. So we may see them locking that Caitlyn and locking that... Okay, just kidding. We were trolled.
Yep.
Viciously trolled. All right, we have Tahm Kench jungle. At least we assume that is their jungler. So we'll see if he's picking for himself, or if we'll see is Tahm Kench top still possibility?
Yeah, he got recently buffed. They changed the gray health on his shield.
Right.
So instead of constantly creeping away, it just stays up, and then you can use it. So you don't have to worry about it constantly going down. You can wait for the right time to use it in a fight, and it made him a lot stronger.
So it could be a flex pick there. And in fact, I suppose with Sejuani, it's almost certainly going up in that top lane.
Then over on 4.5 white guys, we have the Teemo Troll Hover yet again. So we'll have to wait to see what they actually want to play as their ADC.
Yeah, almost certainly not. I expect, like you said, we need to see a high damage coming out from them. It's Teemo does a lot of damage.
It'd be good to have a Sivir. It scales really well into the game, would go well with their Alistar and Gragas engage. Draven does a lot of damage if you get him going.
League of Draven.
Yep.
They also throw in not a tank, but a juggernaut there. Darius coming in. He does put out damage while also being able to take some punishment. So their team is very much built to just have a giant front line protect the Draven.
And Draven does just have that single target DPS. He can't spread around the damage very much besides his ult. So I would imagine the fights are going to go very long if they start to win them, because it's going to take them a while to get out enough DPS to kill.
That's right.
Land snakes.
Yeah, and they can, especially with now Orianna coming in for Echoed Voice, that is and always a good champion. And with this team composition, works very well as you send in the Frog, Sejuani ultimates. They can stack a lot on top of each other right here between Glacial Fissure and Tom Kinch just generally being in the middle of the team. Command Shockwave, Sejuani ultimates. It's going to be quite a bit of team fighting from both sides in this game.
Both teams are very tanky. There's going to be a lot of like 2-for-3s, 3-for-2s with tanks running away.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see, I think, if the lane matchups, we've seen Echoed Voice play very strongly before and really just put games on his back. I'm not sure against this team composition if he'll be able to do that with Orianna.
Yep.
But he certainly is going to try. And now yesterday we saw a lot of brawling in the Uncapped tournament.
Yep.
And we had some pretty quick games. I think a lot of things were sub 30 minutes. Not expecting the same today, are we?
Most of these Plat-Capped games have been going 40 to 50 minutes.
Yeah.
A lot of objective dancing. They stand around Dragon trying to get position on it for 5 minutes at some times, and they're playing much safer and less decisive than the Uncapped tournament.
Right, and do you think that is a reflection of just the teams being closer to each other in skill level, or is it also, as players get better and move up and you get into that Uncapped, they become better at making those decisive calls?
I think it's a little bit of both. You start to understand what needs to be done a little better, and timing is everything in League. You spend a ton of gold to get 10% more movement speed so you can get somewhere. So it's all about getting there quickly. Oftentimes, if you can just out-rotate the other team, you don't even need to fight. Like in the highest level of LCS, they avoid fighting for the first 15 minutes and just try and map dance people out of the game before they ever fight. So.
Yeah, what I love about that is that's happened for as long as there's been competitive play. Teams have figured out ways to just take the money advantage, and Riot does everything they can to try to encourage fights, and it just doesn't work.
All they want to do is a game that can be casted where you don't have to talk about, the history of the players for the first 20 minutes of the game.
Right. Yeah, I think the favorite is there was a game at some point in the past year and a half, where teams just never called the bluff. They just let them go, and both teams were in the pace by 7 minutes.
Yep.
Taking inhibitors. That's commitment.
You lane swap, and they just decide they don't want to switch back. So
yeah, it's very interesting, I think, because you'll have the first 10 minutes of a game, and the most important thing that'll happen is one team may mismanage their creep wave slightly.
Yep.
And it's not even about when it started, it was whether or not when you lane swap, the top laners could get creep kills.
Yeah.
Now it's just, can they even get experience? It's an interesting evolution, and something you see the highest level play.
We actually tried that strategy in the Uncapped tournament yesterday by sending 5 people up immediately lane swapping, and then teleporting to the minions to keep them alive.
One of those person wasn't a lane swap. One of them was there.
But unfortunately, they did eventually call the bluff after we took their second tier tower and started defending their inhibitor tower.
You guys had a gold lead.
Yep.
That's forever, man. You had a gold lead on a challenger player.
Yep.
Yeah, the trolls were real yesterday. If you were watching, you saw it. There was teleporting to minions as they took the turret. It worked twice.
Yep.
It actually seemed okay for, a second there.
I think the inhibitor tower was greedy. I was calling the team back, but we had already agreed on the plan before the game started, and we were committed at that point.
No deviation, man. The inhibitor tower, though, might have been going a little far. You guys died there. At some point, somebody, I was like watching that game and casting, and somebody was on one side of the wall. I'm like, oh, they've got him out. It'll be fine. He'll flat. Oh.
We have smite.
You have smite.
We had to take dragon early.
Right. Yeah, I could not flash over that wall.
Yep. Unlucky.
Unlucky. It's true. It was very unlucky, but that dragon was even more unlucky. He had to deal with 5 smites in his life. couldn't even. He's not even.
I wonder how the dragon feels when you're loading into that game and it's like
Right.
there's a total of 6 smites in the game and you just know you're going down.
He's not even
constantly.
awake yet. It's like early in
Yeah.
the morning, 2 minutes into the game, and you're like, time to take you out.
Yep.
Anyways, this game, however, has exactly 2 smites. And as we expected, obviously, it is a Sejuani in that jungle.
Kind of interesting that the top laner did not take teleport. I'm assuming Darius is top and he has ignite.
Yep. Kill lane, man.
Yep. Which
Also, it's Cillian mid, not Cillian support. No, there's a couple different ways, at least in the history of League of Legends. There are times where Alistar has been a viable solo laner, but here we'll see him in the traditional support role.
Yep. I'm interested to watch bot lane. I think Caitlyn Braum are actually going to be able to bully out the Draven pretty hard. Alistar's pretty weak until level 3 or 4 when he has his combo up. So I think Draven can actually wind up getting behind, and if they can shut him down early and avoid him cashing out his passive, it'll be very hard for him to ever come into the game.
Right, absolutely. So we'll see if we get any level 1 aggression here. We have had it at times over the weekend. 5 people in the middle, or are we fanning out here? What is Team Landsnake doing as they come down the middle? They're not spotted out, I don't believe. So
Might be a cheese onto the Zillion. Oh, nope. They're going even deeper.
this is an interesting path to take for this invade. Could have easily been spotted out. However, it was not, so they are safely to that blue buff for this. They're just looking for them. They have the deep wards down.
It's possible they go for a blue buff steal here, but it looks like they're just going to leave it.
It's interesting. They decided they needed vision on that side of the map, and they needed 5 people there.
Yeah.
I guess it's sort of a low risk. Maybe you catch the Zillion there. Maybe you catch that person going to ward in that bush, river bush up there. But as is, it looks like the defensive wards on one side for the blue side. And red team, Team Lansing, has those deep wards. They know where Gragas is starting, and we'll see if they're able to use that information to their advantage here early.
Sejuani's first clear is pretty slow, and it's hard to invade on her, so I don't think we'll see her invading at all. And if she does, it'll have to be backed up with the mid laner support.
Right. Yeah. Just they want a little knowledge at the very least, because Gragas does have the ability to have an early gank, and they know where he is at, so that's gonna help him out here. And then meanwhile, we'll watch this bottom lane. Draven damage early is something to be feared if you're Caitlyn. They're trying to just play safe and get your CS in.
Caitlyn does outrange Draven by about 150 range, so it's not hard if you position correctly to just get free trades on him, but an all-in definitely won't. They will not win.
As we saw right there, actually does have a little bit, of course, Alistar on Shafty there will be around to keep him up, but it's actually Braum Caitlyn exerting a little bit of pressure. Draven, if he gets Gragas, if they're able to pull off that gank, could get quite a bit of damage down in on them and have that advantage, because Sejuani can't match that pressure, but if he gets poked out before it happens, it's not going to work.
And Gragas did just do a half clear and back, so he probably won't be ganking for a while unless he just runs straight top, but I imagine he'll be clearing blue buff before he goes for any ganks. Something they've recently started doing is giving the first blue buff away. They used to give that to junglers, but in high level play they're just starting to give blue buffs to their mid laners at 2-3 minutes in.
Well, the mid laner deserves it because they are the most important player in the game.
It's true.
Oh yeah, I did for a minute.
Oops.
Well, no, I pull it down when there's going to be a fight. It looked like we might have an invade, so I pulled it down. But yeah, pull it back up here for you guys. Have Twitch chat. Right? I can't see the chat. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Working on some tech-ins to get the spectator bar back up there. You can see the items. Nothing unexpected. Oh, that's a nice bit of chunk there on Zillion. Running teleport, same as Oriana. So the kill pressure there, no ignites and to be found. Not a ton of kill pressure, but
Yep.
nice zoning there by Oriana a little bit, though it's fairly even in farm thus far.
I'm hoping we see some early focus down by 4 white guys for a gank to Draven, get his passive cashed out and get him ahead and start rolling, because
Right.
if he dies before he clears his passive, which gives 1 gold every time he catches an axe, he loses half of them, and he's just substantially weaker for the rest of the game.
Right, and if you can cash out those stacks pretty early, it's huge.
Yep.
But now we see there was an attempted roam down by Zillion. He'll run into Sejuani in the river, and that puts a damper on that. Now we see Gragas has cleared that blue buff, is still on the top side of the map though, so we'll see if he loops back down and then makes a play on bottom. Sejuani, meanwhile, does have a couple wards up in the river and is just clearing herself. So no early pressure here from either jungler, as we have the slow start we expected after something like 20 kills in 5 minutes yesterday.
Yep. Caitlyn is starting to build up a small CS lead, up about 8, but the wave is pushing in, so it'll probably balance back out.
Yeah, we do see this crashing a little bit here into Draven, but yeah, looking what's on the map though, it is a real CS lead beat built up so far by Caitlyn. And it's really important. You know, sometimes it doesn't matter, and you say it's only 7 CS, it's only 5 CS, but if a fight happens, if a gank comes and both laners are forced to back, all of a sudden that can be the difference between a BF sword or not, which completely tilts the power of the lane.
Yep. It can be a big deal. That's why whenever I back and I'm, 50 gold short of an item, and I just think, if you didn't miss that one last hit, if you're a little bit better at the game and you just didn't put it down to 3 HP.
Exactly, and that was one of the things that I was very impressed by. We talked a lot about quantum physics. He's a challenger player here in Oklahoma who led his team to victory yesterday in the uncapped bracket. But one of the things that stood out is even when he was roaming, his CS was so high. He just never misses CS, and it's something that's easy to take for granted, especially if you're pretty good at it. I only miss 1 or 2 sometimes. It's not a big deal, but he just misses none. He just always has the item race he needs. And it really, over the course of the game or over the course of many games, it really becomes quite important as we cut to the top to see one missed.
Yesterday we saw a lot of games where they were up 5 to 7 kills, but the other team was up 40 CS in every lane and still had a 3,000 to 4,000 gold lead from it.
Yeah, small advantages become big advantages. I think that sums up League of Legends very well. Now, 7 minutes in, speaking of that, is a 400 gold lead for 4.5 white guys.
And that is mainly off the Darius lead top. He's up 19 CS now. It'll probably be closer to 15 after the wave crashes in. But that's still a pretty significant lead.
Yeah, after 7 minutes into the game, pretty solid right there. We do see him back, but he has that wave push. It'll come back to him when he arrives. Now, just farming so far. Neither team doing too much here. No, we haven't even seen an attempted gank, though we might be getting our first. Gragas waiting in the wings, but nothing will come of it.
Zillion does give him a level.
Shows up, gets the level. Nice stun there by Chris, who did not miss.
Actually can't.
He can't
it's
miss.
Not.
I think something tells me over the course of this best of 5 championship series here, we might see a miss or 2.
We'll have to be requesting a name change at that point.
Requesting a name change and reporting him for being the only player in the game without a skin.
Yep. There's even so many good Zillion skins. There's like Hippie Zillion, Santa Zillion.
That's true. It's a very good point. Maybe, I guess regardless, he's taking some RP home as a result of their run to at least second place here in this tournament, so maybe he'll upgrade and won't have that happen next time he's in a championship. So we've seen a lot of harassment coming out from Braum. Oh, here we go. Here's the play. Gragas is arriving. I don't think he hit the body slam. He has the ultimate, knocks him out. He teleports, coming and flashed away by Braum. Exhaust out on top, guys. The Draven ultimate goes down. Now Jack has arrived. Shafty running for his life. Flashes, get eaten. The cow goes down. First blood over to the land snakes, and this isn't over. There comes the Glacial Fisher. Bad Cop walking out after taking some turret shots for his team. We saw Yeet go for the flash body slam. Didn't get it, but that one lands. Look at Jack taking the aggro. Sejuani picks up a double kill.
That die was really well juggled off the tower aggro.
Absolutely. We saw Bad Cop take it early while they were poking. They stepped back, waited for the wave, and then Jack takes 3 shots there on that tanky Tom Kench, and his team is able to complete the dive. Land Snakes take a 1,000 gold lead, a 3-0 lead, and they're trying to follow up with the Dragon.
I was really impressed there with the teleport reaction time. Yesterday we were seeing a lot of issues of people just not using their teleport when a gank started bottom because they didn't use it in time, then it was useless to use. But there, he really turned the fight around by using that teleport immediately and getting in there to help his team.
Right, and it's very interesting that they chose to say. I think they needed to, they being 4.5 white guys here, needed to disengage as soon as they came in.
Yep.
They can't match that. They have Zillion teleporting if possible, but they're never going to have a teleport from their top laner.
Yep.
So as soon as you see it come down, you just have to get out of there. Instead, they turn around, they try to continue the fight, but they don't have the numbers. They pay the price. They then overstay on the tower, get dove, and that 500 gold lead we talked about for them is now gone, and the early momentum and control is completely in the hands of Team Landsnake.
Yep. That Caitlyn already a full zeal ahead of Draven.
Yeah, Draven has caught up a little bit on CS, so there's a wave on its way up here to Caitlyn to make it up.
And critically, Draven did die before he was able to catch out his passive stacks.
Right.
He lost half of his stacks there, and a lot of free gold.
Here comes the next try. He misses the ultimate. The health goes down. Draven dunks, but does not make it. It bounces right off the rim. Close, though. That burn almost took him down, but
5 stacks does a lot of burn after a while.
Fish bleed, but they don't bleed out in this case. So that's the second gank we've seen from 4.5 white guys not connect. Meanwhile, Sejuani back farming. 2-0-1 there on Doughboy. That's a very, very nice start for him. And Sejuani ganks are going to be something to be feared from this point forward.
And the CS had gotten close again, but it looks like Caitlyn just immediately regained a 20 CS advantage.
Yeah. Here we go. Next try. Zillion has arrived. Nice combo there by Shafty. It's a 2-man knockup. Tall X guy goes down, and it's Chris who kicks it. Still no stacks for Magic as Bad Cop walks out. But they do have that gank. Now they see. They ping out Sejuani coming down. Orianna has arrived. Chris is throwing out. They dodge the winner's bite. Lots of damage here. But everyone just seems to be retreating to their corners as we see that gank attempt work out for 4.5 white guys, and they get on the board.
Really good roam by Zillion there.
Yeah, absolutely. The ganks by Gragas had not yielded the result they want, but Zillion arrives, and we saw a nice 2-man combo knock up there by Shafty to set all of that up.
And is there a way to see how many stacks Draven has now? He still did not. He did not get the last hit on that kill, so it should have a tiny little number.
I think
71, maybe.
It is certainly possible that is a 71. Almost looks like an 11. Actually, really hard to tell.
I'd be very disappointed if it was 11.
You agree? All right, here we go. Some fighting going down up on the top lane. Jack pops a health. He's actually fighting back here. Gragas is roaming up, though, so if this fight, he's been ping-dang up. Jack knows he's there. Switch Draven into his tower. but he's still fighting. There's a flash body slam. Ultimate by Eve. I think he misses that barrel, though. Flash away by Jack, who is still 2 for 1ing them under the tower and eats one and gets the kill. It's a trade. Now Doughboy has arrived. Riven trying to run away. Mastery 7 Riven gets flash on. The flail takes him down. Sejuani picks up the double kill. Moves a 4-0 and 1. Jack just would not go down.
Really well played there by Sejuani. Sidesteps the Darius Q so he doesn't get the healing and has a chance to fight back.
It's not over. Echoed Voice chasing down Chris. He has the ball. There's Command Shockwave flashed out by Chris. Burns the Summoner spell just for the ultimate there. Yeah, that was, we saw the flash body slam land by Yeet. We saw the ultimate push him into the wall, but we did not see the barrel after that. So here we go. Teleport coming in, knock up. Great job there by Shafty. Bad Cop, though, able to jump back. Gets two with the Glacial Fissure. Chris is here. There's a bomb on the ground. He's taking a lot of damage from Caitlyn. Draven gets a displacement. Chris is very much in trouble, but has the ultimate. They're going to go for Tall X Guy. Flash in front by Bad Cop, but the ultimate by Draven takes it down. There goes those stacks. They've been popped. It's a double kill for Magic.
And that's going to be a huge gold advantage for the Draven now.
Absolutely. Yeet there to keep Echoed Voice from running down. And we had a slow first 7-8 minutes, but it has certainly picked up since then as the ganks have continued to come in early. Not early, but certainly often.
Caitlyn does go back and finish the Hurricane. Still not doing too bad.
Yeah, she's got that. It's up to an 8 CS lead after Draven had pulled it even. We saw her pull back ahead. So just the tug of war down there in the bottom is, it looked early for Draven and for 4.5 white guys like it was not going to go in their favor, but they've definitely picked it up here in the past 5 minutes as we've seen some really nice roams from Zillion, and in that case a pretty solid teleport play.
And Zillion is starting to get punished a little bit for all these roams and teleports. He's down 23 CS in the mid lane.
Yeah, does have a kill to his name and 2 assists as well, but really nice farm this time by Orianna. And if you're Orianna, if you have this team composition, you're just building to this game where you're 4-0 Sejuani can pick up the ball and can run it to the team. If you can get a nice ultimate, you can freeze them. You can hit them with a shockwave. It's a lot of time that they can't move, and Chris can't miss, but he also can't res everybody. And now he's in trouble himself here. Doughboy's on him. Echoed Voice has arrived. Nice ultimate there to try to save him, but I don't believe he has his own ultimate up. No, he didn't. It was 12 seconds away, and he does get picked off there as the dragon spawns.
And Orianna still did not use the ultimate there.
Right.
Still has it up if a team fight breaks out mid, so they try to defend the tower.
Alright, so they don't have much of a creep wave to work with here, but they do have a shield. Get down some damage. Gragas arrives, forces him off with the barrel, but now here comes the creep wave. Draven, meanwhile, just farming down in the bottom as that dragon is still a live target. Remember, Darius up in the top has no teleport, cannot come down here, so Tom Kinch does not have his up either. So if anything, we're going to have a 4v4.
Tom Kinch does have his ult. Oh no, he does not have
ult.
It, yeah. Okay. It should be a 4v4 then.
Yeah, and they choose not to take it. They pull the dragon out. We haven't seen the move yet. Zillion's trying to get it there. They don't get it. It's a dragon going over to Land Saint there. Nice job by them securing that before 4.5 white guys could form a response.
And it looks like they did want to fight there. Shafty used the Pulverize on Alistar and just didn't get the W off.
Right.
And generally they do that if they just mess up a little bit on the W range, because you have to Q immediately after your W for that combo to work.
Now we see them, though, good rotation here. After Lance Snake pulled back a little bit, they try, but the fight's breaking down the middle, and Jack eats Darius again. He's going to need to dunk him. Does get it, but he gets a heal, and it's not enough. Trade up there in the top. Meanwhile, this pressure in the middle lane, it's Orianna versus 2 members of 4.5 white guys, but looks like we're just going to send Alistar bottom to help out Draven, as Zillion just gets a little bit of damage there in the middle. Now, can they save the bottom tower? It's going to be rough. Tall X Sky is on it. Back
they have
is
4
on
people
it.
collapsing bottom.
Yeah. All right, tower goes down. Now, will they get out? Winner's Bite onto Shafty. Draven's trying to get up there. Grog is trying to get up there, and they narrowly escape.
Orianna uses the TP there bottom, while they start to pull back.
Yeah, thought they were going to have a fight. Thought she was going to get in there to protect her team. Does not work out that way, so they get the tower for free. at least at the cost of a teleport. Well worth it, and that's why you see a 1500 gold lead right now on the side of Team Land Snakes, as they have the only tower of the game, but also have 2 dragons to 0.
Those dragons are critical,
right?
Especially since one of them is an Infernal Dragon, that 8% AP and AD, very strong.
Not to mention that the way this game is shaping up, and with these team compositions, we expect it to go long. And just farming these dragons now, preparing for that Elder Dragon spawn, even if it's 30 minutes from now, is pretty key.
Yep, and the percentages, all these dragons are percentages, so the later you go into the game, the more powerful they become. They all scale up very well.
Right, and you don't have to have them early if you're Team 4.5 White Guys, but you do need to be aware of it and know that you are at that small disadvantage, and if you don't plan around in the future, it's just going to snowball even further. So let's take stock of where the money's at. The good news for 4.5 White Guys is that their Draven does have 2 kills. Darius does have 2 kills. We talked about them needing a bunch of damage, and at least their money is on the members who can provide that. Meanwhile, though, that Darius is in trouble. Doughboy has arrived. The teleport comes in. Nice flash pull by Jack. Chris Can't Miss has arrived, throwing down some time bombs on Zillion, but there's just so much tankiness coming out of Jack. But now Yeet is here as well. The health goes away, and he gets donked. Orianna on the backside. Will they try to force down this tower? Will it be a rotation? 3 members, 4.5 White Guys walking up. Nice flash body slam by Yeet. Takes Echoed Voice into the team. Echo flashes away. Gets command shockwave on Mastery 7 Riven. But Yeet is taking the turret. Now it's on Chris Can't Miss. It's just Doughboy by himself. He gets dove. Yeet is tanking. I think one more shot's going to take him down, though. Now Riven's going to get taken down. We had the ultimate to save Yeet, and he will make it out. So they go 1 for 1. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Draven is in a bad place. He gets picked off. Shafty will follow as Tall X Guy picks that one up. They're going to try to teleport to the turret to save it. They don't save the turret, but Jack has arrived. Now, can he chase him down? Nice stun landed by Chris. Nice barrel by Yeet to zone him, and I don't think this fish will be getting there today. So that was a lot that happened there. Walk us through where things stand after all of those trades. We saw a turret go down. We saw kills picked up on both sides of the map.
Well, bot lane, they attempted to dive Caitlyn, but Braum was waiting in the tri-rush directly behind the tower. It jumped out, shielded, and they were able to pick up the double kill, save the tower. So that was good there. But top lane, they tried to gank with the Sejuani. TP came in immediately.
Yep.
Counter ganked it. Gragas rotated before Orianna. Zillion rotated before Orianna.
Yeah, Zillion roams this game have been very strong, and we saw they managed the initial gank very well. They then wanted to resurrect Yeet on Gragas after he had taken that turret. It worked, but they still lost one in the process, so as they dove that turret. So they went 1 for 1 in that trade.
I believe Braum just went in and stole the red buff by himself.
Hey, man. He's a man with a shield and a plan. Alright, those Braum auto attacks going to burn. Put the shield on Braum and just let him go. Alright,
people are wondering how to carry in solo queue with support. All you gotta do is take the red buffs.
Take the red buffs, solo the team.
I'm sure it won't make your team mad.
We saw a lot of supports picking up a lot of kills yesterday. Here we go, though. This is Shafty jumping into 4 of them. Draven's in a bad spot. Oh, a 3-man.
No follow-up.
3-man stun there by Doughboy, but his team's not there. They take the turret, but now the fight comes in. There we go. 3-man knockup by Shafty. That's a lot of damage going down. Draven Ultimates only gets the front half of it. Doughboy looks like he's going to be a sacrificial lamb for his team here. Command Shockwave whiffs. The stun by Chris does not. Echoed Voice goes down. Caitlyn goes down. Tall Guy now. It's a full 5 members of 4.5 White Boys on the turret. Jack picks up one teammate, but a great bomb there by Zillions. He picks up a double kill. That's a clean ace, a triple kill for Chris on Zillion. 23 minutes in.
That should be Baron.
That is a huge, huge swing right there. It was a gold lead. It was momentum. It was a tower down by Lansings, but we just saw that they didn't have the coordination. They had an incredible ult by Doughboy, but his team was not there to follow up. And though they got the turret, they had nothing left to stop the engage. And pay for it with the ace, a turret, with Baron. It's a huge swing.
That's a 5,000 gold swing. They
That
were down
was-
1,000, and now
yeah.
they're up 4.
That was absolutely absurd. Chris cannot miss, and it's just going off with Zillion. I think at the end of that, we saw a double bomb. Now, I think we'll probably, well, maybe not, there's a dragon up. I would say we'll take a replay, but it looks like everyone's headed to this dragon, and we might have another fight.
It would probably be safest for Landsnake to just back off.
Yeah, especially
4.5
Kaylin.
white guys do have the Baron buff, so they have a lot of extra power right now. So it'd be best to turtle up, wait it out,
Yeah.
reduce losses, and wait for the Baron buff to expire.
Or at least try to trade. Instead, they do that thing we talk about all the time is they're indecisive. They have 5 members just walking around the jungle. No, they could have sent somebody top. They had Kaylin and Tom Kinch in the top lane after getting the red buff. They could have tried to trade back with a turret. Instead, they do nothing. They give up the dragon for nothing. And now they are having their turret forced in as they have to deal with this Baron power play by 4.5 white guys.
I was talking to some players yesterday from the Plat-Capped tournament, and one thing I was talking to them about is gold leads only matter if you're team fighting the other team.
Right.
If you're on the other side of the map trading objectives, they can be up 20,000 gold, and you're doing well.
Right.
So it's important to try and make proactive plays, especially around the map. And
Oh, here
you
we
can
go.
avoid
Here's a
fighting and
proactive
stuff
play. Echoed Voice just comboed out immediately by Yeet and the team behind him. He's so tanky. Draven picks up Tall X Guy with the ultimate on the back roll. Now Yeet is taking the turret, gets the heal, survives. Bad Cop knocked back into the team by Shafty. He'll go down as well. 3 members down for Landsnakes. That was a proactive play. Yeet comes over the wall, knocks them into the team. Echoed Voice doesn't get an opportunity to use a single spell.
Yeah, that was a great flash body slam into the Grog Assault, into the Alistar combo.
Right.
The second Gragas came over that wall, they could not
All right. Now
press
they-
a button before they were dead.
Yeah, and there goes the turret and the inhibitor. Now Mastery 7 Ribbon on Draven, split pushing against Zac. Chris arrives, flash away by Jack to survive as there might be more coming. Gragas is not here with the team. Looks like they're going to back off, and we're going to get a replay of that last fight. All right, walk us through this here as we watch this replay coming in.
Gragas starts to come over. It's actually warded, so they do see him coming here. But he brings in a body slam flash onto the Orianna and then immediately uses his ult before she can get out of it. So she was still stunned there when she gets hit.
Yeah, that was crazy.
The second the body slam hits, you cannot do anything else.
Yeah.
You have to flash that immediately.
Yeah. She was dead as soon as she got too close to that wall. Went down, and then looked Shafty on the backside, just picking up more and more for his team. So
Zillion's just doing huge damage in all of
Yeah.
these fights.
yeah, that was pretty incredible coordination there by 4.5 white guys, and they see them are rewarded with an 8,000 gold lead, as well as the first inhibitor of the finals. So if you're sitting here, you were ahead, you had a lead, you had to feel pretty good about this game for a while. If you were Landsnakes, you just had things massively swing against you in the past 5 minutes. 26 minutes in, where do they regroup from here to try to come back being an inhibitor down?
At this point, you need to turtle until they have a Baron spawn or Dragon spawn, hope that they tank too much damage off of it, and get a big Orianna shockwave.
Right.
Or they overextend into a bad tower dive, Braum gets a good shield and blocks most of the damage. But at this point, it's on the 4.5 white guys to make the mistake and not for Landsnake to outplay them.
Right, and this is something we've seen is teams not always great at closing out games. We'll see how 4.5 white guys do. Look at Darius just going into the team here, but forced to flash away as he gets too aggressive and is at half HP. So that's going to make them trying to take down this turret a lot more difficult. You see a lot of traps out by Kaylin. Orianna getting huge poking as well. So already some damage before a fight even really breaks out. Now Chris comes in, gets a bomb off on Kaylin, does a huge chunk of damage. Chris putting it out.
He's
Now
been so
meanwhile-
accurate with those bombs.
Right. Here they're thinking about it. They're just getting the poke down. The wave has arrived. Will they take the turret? Will they try to pick a fight? The ball is in the middle. Here we go. Knock up on Jack. Glacial Fisher hits one, but that's only Shafty. Draven trying to get there for his team. Chris can't miss. He'll die, but come back up immediately. Throws out some bombs. Gets a lot of damage in there, and Draven is able to pick up Braum because of it. Caitlyn was completely zoned by those time bombs. Chris tanks the ace in the hole to save his team. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Darius just able to crash into the base. On the second inhibitor hill here. Team gonna try to take him down, but that's gonna go down while the siege on top is alive. Caitlyn's back up. She takes a lot of damage. Draven thinking about going aggressive, does back off. So right now, though, he just walks in there, and that is the end of Caitlyn. That's the end of Doughboy. So they almost pulled off the fence. They forced Darius back on the bottom, but that
Draven is very strong now.
Yeah, he's returned. Draven's on the tower in the top. They missed the knock-up. Draven taking down the objectives while his team zones for him. There goes the final base turret, and they're on both inhibitors right now. Things have went from bad to worse very quickly here for Land Snakes.
Yep.
All right.
At this point, it's just controlling all three of your waves, getting them all to push in, try and get the double super minions, leverage those to take the towers.
Right, and what I like to see here, this is good planning by 4.5 White Guys. They're not wasting time trying to pick up kills. They got the objectives. It was somewhat methodical once they sent Darius down to the bottom, walked on in, walked back, walked in, and they picked a fight in the top lane at the right time. His magic on Draven just went huge. Now they go back to their base, 30 seconds on the Dragon, 45 seconds on a Baron, with all the inhibitors down. It's an extremely tall order.
11,500 gold lead at this point.
Yeah, it's a really tall order if you're Land Snakes to even try to contest these objectives.
Draven goes back and goes from BF Sword to a full BT and buys a Hex Drinker.
Alright, Dragon up in 10 seconds. I think we're going to see 4.5 White Guys pick it up and just walk on over to Baron after that. Now, if you are Land Snakes here, do you have to make the desperation play at Baron?
I think so. They're not even strong enough at this point to fight double super minions with Baron buff in 3 lanes.
Right.
So if there's 5 other team members who are stronger than them on top of that, there's not much of a chance.
Yeah, so it looks like they tried to push out the waves, but it's 30 minutes in, not having a great time, and instead they get caught. Tall X guy might make it out as he gets a Glacial Fissure. Chris goes down, he'll be right back up. This is the fight. Chris can't miss, gets a bomb down. Nice command shockwave there by Orianna, but Echoed Voice just doesn't have enough damage. He gets picked up by the Catfish, and they both drown. Now Doughboy, last one on the top side. Chris arrives, he flashes out. They finish him off. Yeet with the flash body slam. Now it's Tall X Guy on Caitlyn. Takes so much damage as Chris gets a double stun. They're on the Nexus turrets. There goes one. There goes two. Here goes the Nexus. Game 1 of the finals goes to 4.5 White Guys who come back. They were down in the middle of that game, but just made it look very clean by the end.
Really well played engages. They were very decisive when they went on it. Gragas immediately went in. Alistar followed up. Zilean followed up. It was just very well coordinated fights where, as Land Snake, they had great Sejuani ults, but they weren't coordinated. They didn't have follow-up afterwards, and they were punished for it.
Right. Yeah, and we saw it was a little rough early there for Yeet AF on Gragas. Missed a couple of those early games, trying to get the monkey off his back against Team Landsnake, which has knocked him out of countless tournaments in the past, but really pulled it together, and I'd say had the play of the game with that flash body slam ultimate and Alistar combo to kill Orianna. That fight broke open the game. They finish it off. Game 1 over to 4.5 White Guys who take the lead. First blood here in this best of 5 finals. So we'll be right back here in Tokyo, Tulsa with Game 2. So thanks for watching and stick with us. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Corbin Hosler. I have Jared Cole with me in the booth here again as we move into Game 2 of our finals here in the Plat-Capped Championship at Tokyo and Tulsa. On the blue side, switching sides this time, you have Team Land Snakes, and on the red side we have their challengers in 4.5 white guys, who had a really nice comeback in that first one to take the game.
Yep. And it was mainly on the back of the Gragas Flash ultimates, so they did ban it this game. Snek.
Right. Yeah, we see
they Gragas and Zillion.
Yeah, very reactive this game. Chris Can't Miss was just on point with those Zillion bombs last game. Farmed very well, had a couple very strong ultimates, but more than that, just had great stuns with the time bombs. But we did see Gangplank banned out last game. In this game, we don't see that, and
they first pick it. Yep,
so
a lot of priority onto that.
Yeah, this is going to be an opportunity for Jack to step up, and I think he had he didn't have a bad game on Tom Kinch by any means, but it also wasn't game breaking.
Yep.
So the plays by the jungler. It was Doughboy on Sejuani last game, who I think really gave Lansink that early lead that was so important in that game, and outplayed Yeet in the first 15-20 minutes. But after that, he just turned on, flipped a switch, and just had some incredible plays with Gragas.
Yep. And now we're going to see him on Volibear. It's going to be a little less flashy plays, but you can still get the same effect done. You go in there, flip somebody over back to your team.
Yeah, just gonna run on in there. So the cow comes through as well for them. Shafty was just really on point with those combos, and we gave Yeet credit for that flash body slam ultimate, but Alistair was right there with the knock up to finish it off. Echo and Lucian rounding it out here for Lansink.
Interesting choice. I'm interested to see if they take it jungle or mid.
Yeah.
They nerfed the tank a lot, right? Did not want Echo to be a tank, so they nerfed it. They played it anyways. They nerfed it. Did that like 3 to 4 times.
Yeah.
And they kept buffing his AP, so they want him to be a mid lane assassin. So if they do take it in the jungle and place, tank Echo, Cinder Hulk Echo, it's been nerfed a lot. It's not very strong anymore.
Yeah.
But mid lane with full AP is actually pretty strong.
Yeah, and against this team, I don't know, especially if that's what you're doing in the dark. And we see Echoed Voice hovering Lux, so it seems to be the jungle since. But against Volibear, Alistair, Riven, Lulu, that would be a very difficult time for
a melee assassin.
Yeah. Lux is a much better pick here, I think, for their mid lane, though. We'll see what he's able to do. So really fast picking bans there, actually, as we see Lux rounds it out along with Braum. So a very strong, pick potential here. Echo, Braum, Lux, as well as just a lot of damage coming out of Gangplank. But I'm not sure exactly how Echo will fit in here with this team that wants to sit behind a Braum shield and throw out projectiles.
And we have the Riven, Mastery 7 Riven, playing Riven.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. This is going to be his opportunity. I mean, so let's talk about Riven versus Gangplank then. How does he expect that to play out?
Gangplank can bully early, but eventually Riven, if he can ever get the gap close, he can surprise it out of a bush, or Gangplank overextends a little bit, Riven can really punish it.
Right.
So I think it's mostly a skill matchup. Gangplank kind of has to keep his own, keep a barrel back behind him in case Riven tries to go in.
Right.
So it's mainly based off skill. This guy is, I guess, a Riven main.
Master 7 Riven,
so he might have the advantage just based off of that.
Right. It's going to be a lot of interesting matchups here. This game, it looks very different from the last one. We had, some team fight comps, some big, big tanks in the last game, and it's similar for 4.5 white guys here. But anytime you put Riven into your team, it actually just kind of changes because of both her 1v1 power more than anything else, and just how absurd she can get if she gets going. It just changes the way your team can look. Still, though, a lot of protection for that Draven.
Yep.
Even if Riven dies, she's able to cause havoc in the front lines, knock some people up. Volibear and Alistair certainly do the same thing. And Chris is there with that wild growth to protect magic on Draven.
And Volibear is actually great to gank Gangplank with for the Riven because he can't cleanse a flip. You have to go back. You have to go back into the Riven. So his W won't do as much to defend him from ganks as it would against other junglers.
Alright, so It's going to be. This is a huge game, and I really hate the term "must win,"
Yeah.
and I don't like when people use that in any sports context other than an actual must win. So I'm not going to call it a must win for Land Snake, but you really do not want to go down 2-1, especially the way that first game just spiraled, 2-0 rather. Considering the way that first game just spiraled out of control.
Yep. It's quite the task to try and 3-0 somebody right back after already being kind of demoralized. And
yeah, in that first game, it really was. I think it wasn't a team composition issue. It wasn't even an outplay, or it wasn't that they were just worse overall. There was a very close game that they were in control of for a long time. But one big play, that one mistake, getting too close to the wall, just changed the entire outlook of that game, and from there it just spiraled out of control, and they lost. So it's not a very fun way to lose a game.
These games feel very momentum based. It's less about who's winning and more on who feels like they're winning, who wants to make the proactive plays, who wants to go out and try and make a play instead of react to one.
Absolutely. So this time, though, we do have 4 teleports in the game. We saw Darius with Ignite in the last one on Mastery 7 Riven, and they both paid the price for it early when they weren't able to respond to teleports during ganks, but also he did become a split pushing threat and was able to pull one of them down in that last push and get the bottom inhibitor to go along with the top to just remove any opportunity of a contest there from Land Snakes.
A lot of the teleports last game were actually used really well. They were instantly used generally in fights. There was no wait time for scrolling down to the bot lane or anything like that. They just immediately used them, ganked right away. If the team felt they wanted to counter gank, they immediately had their top laners TP in. They were really well used. So
we saw some even some nice ones coming in, and usually the teleport you see is gank happen, here comes the double teleport from the top lane. Instead we saw some nice roams and teleport roams into bushes behind Land Snakes by Zillion, and I really think that Chris just showed his mastery of that ability and the champion he was on. So now he moves over to
confirmed. Riven does have level 7 mastery, so living up to the name. But so does Gangplank.
Okay.
Only 2 people in the game with it, so
it's going to be a very exciting top lane there, and Echo gets reported this game.
No skin. I mean, you got one job. You just load into the game with a skin. That's all you gotta do.
That is, here in the finals of the League of Legends tournament, Tokyo and Tulsa, that is the most important thing, is that you have a skin for every champion you play. So, alright, we saw some interesting level 1 from Land Snakes in the last game as they went 5 people down the middle and then over to the blue buff of 4.5 white guys. We'll see if they follow that same line. We see Jack peel off.
Looks like
just take
they
it the
are
long
doing
way.
the same thing.
Oh, this could be... I'm not sure if they caught a glimpse of Draven or not, but this ward is certainly going to spot them out. And it's 3 members. They see the pings. They come out, able to pull out of this one. So I don't think that this is going to work out. And as Riven stays top, I think we'll just see Land Snake walking back to their own. I'd like to see Riven go try to get Vision down, something on that.
You did see 5 people, so you can go deep ward the enemy team's blue buff, something like that. It's free, so there's no downside to doing it.
Alright, we'll line up our champions here.
In this game, both junglers did take refillable potion, finally. They're listening to me. I love it. The only downside is having 60 less HP your first clear, and then the rest of the game, every potion you have is free. So I like
definitely
it.
Seems like the better play here. So now I do know from experience in some of these past tournaments that Echoed Voice is very strong on Lux. So of course, Chris looked very good last game, and Lulu is pretty difficult to kill. But I think it's going to be about the farm now. Look at this level 1 cheese out of the bush. Tall X guy gets a nice poke damage on Magic. Shafty with a nice knock up to save him a little bit as they trade back. So overall, for being taken unawares out of the bush, 4.5 white guys come out of that probably as well as they could have hoped.
Yep, that could have gone really badly if they just got one more auto attack onto the Draven. It would have procced the Braum passive. He would have been stunned. Would not have been good. So.
Yeah, with the concussive blows coming out, that extra damage plus the extra autos, they could have just been immediately in trouble there. Instead, now if they can get to level 2, they'll get the heals out of Alistar, and then they will be able to sustain through that lane fairly well. Now, last game we saw Draven, he didn't have anything working with his stacks early, but he was able to proc them about 15-20 minutes into the game, and he got pretty strong from there. Well, actually, a lot of sustain in both lanes. 2 shielding champions in the middle. Braum on the bottom side, of course, has that relic shield and his actual shield, and Hosler with a heal as well.
I would be surprised if we see any sort of solo kills, especially since you're going to get, if bot tries to do anything, they're immediately going to get TP'd on by like 4 people. There'll be 5 people in the lane for both
here,
teams.
Bud, you say that. Here we go. Shafty knocks Lucian back into his team. Exhaust is burned. Now that goes back on Magic. The concussive blows do stun up Shafty, but they force Tall X Guy to use his heal. Flash ahead by Magic. Forces the flash at Tall X Guy. Still no teleports coming out from either team.
They did use one, I believe. Yes, it was Lulu's teleport, but it was canceled.
Okay, so Lux canceling, or they decided they didn't want it, one of those two. Meanwhile, Volibear runs into some trouble in the jungle.
I see.
Not quite sure what happened there.
Maybe he thought he had his passive up that would sustain him through it, or...
I guess we'll go ahead and...
toss that one up to lag, maybe?
Yeah. He was watching the fight on... He was probably just watching the fight on bottom.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and jump back just to see there's nothing that we missed there.
It looks like a pretty... It's going to be a battle with the red buff.
It is. Alright. Fair enough.
Hide your eyes, kids. Not like this.
Oh, man. Alright, he died. He died. The red buff won that. Red buff won that round. Alright, moving on now. We see up and down the board a little bit of farm in the favor of Gangplank and Lucian on the bottom, as it is the Land Snakes who have the early advantage here with that 400 gold lead. The last game was swapped around. It was 4.5 white guys with a small lead early that was changed by ganks. So a lot of farming going on in both lanes here, and as we watch the way this game we expect it to unfold, Shafty continues to go aggressive here. Echo has arrived. Shafty's in trouble. Gonna have to flash out here. He's not gonna make it. Just goes
still
down
from when he
guy.
went out on the Lucian.
Yeah. Doesn't have the flash. Goes down. Nice job there by Echo. And that was with 2 teleports open on Land Snakes and just one for 4.5 white guys. So that may have been ill-advised from the beginning. Nice job by Chris there as they try to answer back in the middle. Echo flashes away. Does survive. But flashed down. So Echoed Voice at risk over the next few minutes here. Now Draven, nice sidestep of that winner's bite. Helps him get out as he just tries to pick up as much experience and farm as he possibly can.
Lucian is starting to build up a CS lead. He snowballs pretty hard as well, not just Draven, so...
Right, he got that first blood money, and that means it's 1,000 gold lead for Team Landsnake, who had already had that small lead from the CS, and Volibear just not even part of the game so far. Though he is invading on this one. Saw Echo on the bottom side. Echo's very close to him. We might have a fight here. Alright, the Gromp goes down. They see each other and they turn and run.
Either one of them wants it.
Echoed Voice is low. Couldn't have provided too much. And of course you don't want to go any deeper there for your Yeet. He got off the steal though, so we saw him fall to that red buff, but gets something back there with the steal. Meanwhile, Riven pacing around in the jungle. They ping out. They have an opportunity at the Rift Herald here if they want it. There's 3 of them after they know that Lux is recalled, but they're not going to take it. Riven just going to walk on back to the top lane as Lulu recalls.
Yep. And the ADCs are starting to power up. Draven was actually still able to get a BF sword even through the ganks. So
Yeah, and is only 6 CS down at the moment, though. Lucian, I believe, has a couple extra to pick up.
Yep.
Yeah, this has been a nice job by Magic on Draven. So even after things did not go well for them early, he's at least keeping up this farm as well as he possibly can.
Yep.
And that's all you can ask for when the early game doesn't go your way. But it's just the second game in a row that we've seen that early game go in the favor of Landsakes.
Yep. And it does feel like Gangplank is kind of winning top, you know. He's going even, but it's a Gangplank, so late game, he's just unstoppable.
Right.
And he did start a Sapphire Crystal, which is pretty insanely greedy and is still keeping up in lane. So
yeah, and actually has the CS lead even at this point. So now Volibear is waiting in the wings up here as the wave is not pushing toward, might be pushing toward him, hard to tell, but yeah, it does come out. That Cannonman goes down first, so we'll see how far Jack pushes up. He's being very patient up here. Echo making his way up as well. But he may loop back towards the mid.
Raven does seem to be telegraphing the Volibear there a little. He was playing more aggressive before and now just kind of dropping back. So
right, here we go. Nice flash out there by Chris, who forced to burn it, but that means that he and the Echoed Voice, neither of them have it for the moment. Now Riven Shrine, here we go. Just immediate flash away by Jack, and he wasted a lot of Volibear's time there.
Yep.
We saw the flash in the middle lane from Chris to avoid the gank from Echo, but Echo spent, you know, maybe 15 seconds on that. Now, were they probably concussive blows on Magic? Not quite. Here comes a teleport in from the red side, but I think Cobb's going to be able to walk this one out, and they do go ahead and cancel the teleport from Chris.
And I've actually noticed this being a big thing the last few games is that teleport this last patch was nerfed. The channel time went from 4 seconds to 5 or 6 seconds, so it takes longer to teleport down. And lots of times they're just getting out of range right before the teleport can finish, or they're having a little extra time to cancel it.
Right, you can't just teleport to the middle of a wave and know that you'll be there for the fight. You actually have to try to get behind the lines if you can. In that case, not able to get in time, forced to cancel the teleport, though Jack has used his as well. So both teams with one teleport up, though they are from different lanes. So if a fight breaks out over the next few minutes, it's going to be sort of an interesting composition as we have a mid laner and a top laner able to teleport down. Yeah, they are just, Magic and Draven is taking so much harass in this bottom lane. He's now down up to 13 CS as it's fairly even. So this is not, we are seeing that lead extend out for Lucian, finally paying off that first blood and just the constant winner's bite coming out from Braum. Now here we go. Nice flash over the snare there for Echoed Voice. I think he's gonna fall. Look, Lux is walking out and lives as Echo arrives to save the day. Echo, though, now might get more back. Chris puts on the shield. Doughboy trying to run for his own life. Draven comes in. He's forced to dash away from the ultimate. Well played there by both sides as Yeet had a very nice flash over that light binding from Lux. That was a good job. Set that up, but they weren't able to finish it off, but it should manifest itself in a dragon for 4.5 white guys.
And this is the water dragon. It's going to give that 10% health and mana regeneration every 20 seconds. So very strong early in the lane. You just have infinite sustain. It feels like the other team just never runs out of HP.
Right, now here we go. Dodges out. Yeet has to get away from the Coley. Now Chris not able to get away from that one as Lux has a huge final spark to kill him through a shield. Echoed Voice, 72 CS and 1 kill. And Lulu up on CS in that lane, but he did fall there. There's that final spark.
And I'm surprised Echo has not tried to make more plays on the bottom lane. They're focusing Pinks into that lane very hard. They're trying to keep complete vision of it, but they're also just not ganking the Draven. They did it once early game, but I'd like to see that lane ganked more.
Yeah, I mean, Draven he's certainly falling further behind. He's now down 22 CS. Might be able to catch some on the bottom here, but either way he's behind. But they could have just slammed the door shut on him with a little more focused pressure. All right, so we have people posturing all over the place as we brawl on the top, but a lot of members around the dragon area, despite it being dead. Looks like Volibear. Will he go for this? He sees Braum. Yeah, he's going to get the fear off. Chase him down here. I don't think he's going to be able to kill him. And all in all, just gave away his position to delay a recall. Alistair clearing out pink wards. So some vision control. Going back for 4.5 white guys in the bottom as Draven tries to pick up some farm and close that gap on Lucian. Now Yeet going very aggressive here with Doughboy. Doughboy fighting back on him. They're trying to get the team there. Lucian is there and Draven's not yet. But with a 3v2 advantage, they're able to hold it, and now they have pressure on the turret, trying to stop Lucian from picking up some of this farm. Chris is here as well. There are now 4 members. Riven has teleport up. Here goes the fight. Final spark. They try to take down Chris. He goes himself to save, but it's actually Volibear who goes down first. Now Shafty running for his life. He might make it out. No, the flash from Lucian kills him. The final to fall is Draven. Picks up the kill on Echo. Gets a proc some stacks, but it's a 4-for-1 in favor of Land Snakes, who take a 3,000 gold lead on the back of that.
That was really well played. They thought they had the numbers, but there were 2 people just running up lane, predicting the dive because they had the vision. They watched them clear out those pink wards.
Right.
So
right now we see they're going to get a tower for it as well and really stretch that lead. Let's take this one more time here. Walk me through. I think it really starts right here as the junglers trade damage.
And Lux just starts immediately roaming down.
Yeah.
They've come through. They swept out all the vision, so 4.5 white guys are feeling confident. They've cleared out all the pink wards. They know there's no vision. But they also know Lulu left the lane.
Right.
So they know she's down here.
Yeah, and Lucian got in there. Braum got in there. Echoed voice actually came from the lane, so they didn't know exactly where it was. It was actually the culling that took down Chris. And then from there, it's just cleanup duty.
They used all their dive and CC onto the Echo, and Echo was still able to get his ult off before he was out of that CC.
Yeah, definitely maybe not the best choice of targets on that one, and we do see that they took the tower. It's a 6-1 lead, a 3,000 gold lead for Land Snakes, who once again are in control of the early game.
And that Lucian's 4-0 now with a completed Ghost Blade, going into the Black Cleaver most likely.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going to be a monster. Draven finally was able to get a kill and finishes his own Infinity Edge, proccing the League of Draven stacks, but he is so far behind in that lane.
Echo is going AP out of the jungle. He did build the ability power item.
Yeah, the only, I think, the hole in window of opportunity is that there are some possibilities for very nice combos and high burst damage. Oh, here we go. We got another fight. Gangplank ult comes down immediately, as does the teleport. Braum puts up Unbreakable and just walks back with his team. Colton gets nice damage down on Shafty, but he has the Unbreakable will on, is not going to fall easily. So it's a teleport burned. Now, will Yeet be able to get behind? He doesn't even want that. Echoed Voice is here. Doughboy is here, and they fall back.
Again, that's another teleport used for nothing.
Yeah.
They're using them reactively to defend.
Right. And then it's a very good recognition by Land Snakes to just back up immediately when they see it coming in. Yeah, Rob Shield has been very strong this game as he puts the team behind him and blocks a lot of incoming damage and engage potential.
And it feels horrible as a top laner to be laning that whole time, going completely even, nothing happening, and then Gangplank pressing R on bot lane and he has 4 assists and a big lead on you.
Yeah. Absolutely. That is Gangplank throwing down the cannon barrage, and one side of the map doesn't even need to use this teleport to create pressure. Meanwhile, your team burns a teleport for nothing, and the tower goes down as a result. It's up to a 5,000 gold lead now for Land Snakes as they look to even up this best of 5 finals.
They're posturing around Dragon here.
Yeah, Dragon about to spawn. It's all blue vision on that side of the map. There's a single red ward down past the river right now, and that's makes it pretty difficult to try to contest this if
all
you are.
the ults and every flash except for the ADCs are up, so this should be a full-fledged
Here we
team
go.
fight.
Here comes the teleport. Yeet backs up. Heals, but he's not quite taken down by the Final Spark. But now Final Spark is down. Echo picks up the dragon, gets out. Glacial Fissures, they try to accept. Mastery 7 Riven gets Wild Growth, but he doesn't even want to jump in. Shafty gets a combo with no help. Unbreakable Will goes on, but his team isn't even here. They're just running. He is a sacrificial cow as his team runs for their lives from Land Snakes, who just continue to build their lead. And now the Coaling comes out. Chris is able to dodge away, but all this time, Gangplank working on the top tower as his team wins the fight at the Dragon Pit.
They tried to punish Gangplank there for not having his TP available, try to force the 5v4, but they couldn't get enough of an engage in, so they were kind of just chasing into Land Snake's jungle.
Right. They weren't on the same page at all, at least it looked that way. Yi took a lot of damage early, almost died to a Final Spark. Then Riven gets Wild Growth, but he doesn't jump in. Then Alistair gets a combo, and there's nobody behind him. The peeling potential of Echoed Voice on Lux and Echo with the circle on the ground and Braum, it's just so hard to dive this team, and you have a team full of diving champions.
Yep.
So that extends that lead even further. So 5,000 plus gold right now for Land Snakes, who have a 5-0-1 Lucian as Tall X Sky. Didn't have a huge effect last game, but this is trouble right now for Lulu. Takes poke, trades back as well. But it's a terrifying proposition to fight a 5-0 Lucian.
Yep. He's already finished his second item now. Just space for that. Did build Black Cleaver.
All right, here we go. This could be a catch they need, though. Doughboy pretty deep in the jungle. His team has arrived. He doesn't get a shield, but he gets a slow. Meanwhile, Yi gets Wild Growth. They're on the chase right here. Shafty, Final Spark, though, finishes it off 0, but one goes to Gangplank, one goes to Echo, one more goes to Lucian. Again, that's that peel. They thought they had a catch on Echo, but really Echo was leading him back into his team. And then they're in a straight line and in a small confined area. Jack's able to use the Cannon Barrage. Echoed Voice is able to use the Final Spark. And they just pick up the kills. Now Riven, Mastery 7 Riven, just not had much to do. 0-0-0, but can't kill Jack. Hasn't been able to get in on the team. And his team loses another turret as that gold lead is now up to 7,000.
This has been a huge difference in the game as Gangplank now has 8 kill participation.
Yeah.
Most of his team's kills have been based off of his ult slowing and doing damage. And Riven still hasn't had any contribution to the team.
Yeah,
I mean, he's kept pressure top lane and farmed, but...
I mean, doesn't have a turret to show for it, and it just hasn't been able to get in when he has joined the team fights. That's not where you want to be right there. Now it's another turret going down to Land Snakes. Continue to build that lead. Now they're going to go shop. Baron is alive, though, and unlikely we see it, but we will see this dive. Doughboy goes in. Yeet is in a lot of trouble. They land the snare onto Chris. Wild Gross himself, but he still goes down. This has just been an incredibly clean. After that first 5 minutes when they had small leads, they just extended it a little at a time, Only one death in 20 plus minutes for Land Snakes here. Binding Lance on Shafty.
This is going to be another dive.
Echo diving in, doesn't get the shield, is able to chrono break back. Shafty put us on the Unbreakable Will, but that's just to survive. They're not able to take this turret, save the turret. I think Riven getting very aggressive here. Cannon Barrage comes down. Shafty's Unbreakable Will is over, and his will is broken. Now Riven trying to make something happen. Double kill from the Coaling. All they have is Draven on the bottom trying to trade back, but trading doesn't work if you give up kills in the process.
Yep.
All right, Chris has arrived. He comes in. It's a 2 versus 5. That's not what they want. The shields from Lux too much. Chris gets fully stunned by Echo. Double kill.
And that's two 2 versus 5 dives in a row.
Yeah, I don't know if there's some tilt going on there or if there's simply some miscommunication, but this game is out of hand right now. 10,000 plus gold, first inhibitor of the match if you are Land Snake. So they were able to trade back. They did what we talked about last game. They sent Draven bottom to try to trade back a turret, but then you go 2v5 twice and you give everything up, and it just completely undermines the entire plan. Now, we do see some recalls coming out from Land Snakes. Maybe a Baron Rush is possible if 4.5 white guys try to take it. There is vision down, and they were not fast enough in either case. I think that it will be able to be defended against.
And they just spent their gold lead. Lucian went back and bought the full Phantom Dancer. Braum picked up a Randuin's. Gangplank bought a Ghost Blade and a pickaxe. Echo finished the Dead Man's Plate. They are very far ahead now.
Right, and we didn't even see any play there from 4.5 white guys. It was your opportunity. They hadn't spent that gold. They were recalling. Maybe you rush Baron, maybe you don't, maybe it'll work out. But you said they just kind of go their own way, go and farm, get a couple hundred gold, but not enough to really change the course of this game, as that gold lead now is almost 11,000 for Team Land Snakes, who have the vision control around Dragon that will be spawning now. So
this should be a free Dragon. They should just give it up. It's not worth
they
fighting
should
over.
maybe rotate mid, send somebody top instead. It's none of that. We have them waiting around in the jungle, some recalling, some just walking around, and the Dragon very easily goes over. Second Dragon of the game for Land Snakes.
The Earth Dragon will give bonus damage to towers and structures and Baron monsters, so
yeah, that's where they're headed right now. We see 5 members headed that way. They saw the recalls. Will they go for it? There's not even any red vision. Draven is not on the right side of the map, and they do go ahead and start it up. I don't know if they're trying to bait them into a fight or they want to go for it, but I'm not sure if Draven's going to be able to get there in time. It's at 6,500 already. Lux here to zone, misses the binding. 4,500. Will they take it? Here comes the Echo Wall. Nice 2-man knockup by Shafty. Baron at 2,200. Does so much damage. Almost takes out Doughboy alone. Unbreakable by Shafty. A lot of heals, but he doesn't have the damage to follow it up. Draven went down, and they saved the Baron, but they might lose more. Chris, that's Final Spark. Oh my God.
That was a lot of damage.
I did not think that was going to take him down, but it did. Morello, Nomicon, Lux, they pick it up. They pick up Volibear, and this one is over. The surrender comes in. 24 minutes. Land Snakes evens the series at 1 apiece in just dominating fashion.
And 4.5 white guys finally went for a proactive play there. They tried to fight. They went for the Flash Alistar engage. But you can't do it after you're down 12,000 gold.
It was just too late, and they didn't have they didn't even have everybody there. They Echo went incredibly low just from the Baron. He wasn't even involved in that fight. They didn't have the coordination, the timing, the items, and in the end, they did not have what it took to stop Land Snakes from evening it up. So, thanks for sticking with us here. We're 1-1 of this best of 5 finals. We will be back with Game 3 in a few minutes. Thank you for watching here at Tokyo and Tulsa. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Tokyo and Tulsa. I'm Corbin Hosler. She's Ariel West. We're here to bring to you Game 3 of the finals of the Plat-Capped League of Legends tournament here at the convention. We had 2 really good ones before this. For everybody who's just coming in, we had the first game after being down for probably the first 10-15 minutes, an excellent comeback by 4.5 white guys who are back on the blue side this time. They came back in game 1, took it. But in the next game, Team Land Snake came out, just was crushing it from the very beginning. Took a small lead early, just continued to snowball it as the game went on. Won pretty decisively, actually earned the surrender in 24 minutes to even things up at 1 apiece. So the best of 5 now becomes a best of 3 as these teams try to take down the title, the bragging rights, the money, and all the glory here at Tokyo and Tulsa.
Right. Land Snake just absolutely dominated that last game. So 4.5 white guys are definitely going to have to rethink their team comp strategy a little bit and focus on their strengths.
Right. They had Gragas banned out against them after having a lot of success within the first game, and they went over to Volibear. And it was a rough game for Yeet AF in that one, as he actually had a mishap in the jungle early, falling to the red buff. That allowed his team to fall behind as the jungle pressure from Land Snakes was stronger. And just like the first game, we saw Land Snakes have small CS advantages, small gank advantages, take that 10-minute lead, However, unlike the first game where Yeet picked it up and had some really, really nice Gragas plays, including this is incredible flash body slam ultimate into Alistair knockup, in which they zeroed out Orianna before she even cast a spell. That swung that game over for them. They ended a huge lead and hit her off of that and closed it out very well. But in the last game, they never had that huge play, and instead they just fell further and further behind as the kills just racked up, and it became a victory for Lance Thanks to even it up. So let's talk about what we have in this game. Echoed Voice just went huge on Lux last game, and we see that banned away. Interestingly, Gragas was left open, and it was first picked before by the blue side when 4.5 white guys were over there. This time, though, they go first pick Gangplank, and Gragas is immediately stolen away.
Right.
Following it up, though, they take away the Echo that had some success Doughboy did in last game with it, and they, as well as Orianna, just stealing picks, is that Orianna was what Echoed Voice was on in the first game. So gonna see a third champion in as many games here from Echoed Voice as the competitions get rounded out. This might be the third Alistar in a row, though, for Shafty if they're able to pick it up. He's been extremely solid on that champion through 2 games. He didn't have the follow-up he needed in the last one, but he's looked good.
And Alistar is such a game-changing champ, too. He can, knock people up. He can throw people over his back. It's just, he has a really good ability to make strong plays.
Yeah, he can be anywhere. He can put the opposing champions wherever he wants, and that worked out great for them in the first game. Now, we have seen Talia banned twice. This time, though, it's picked up by Echo Voice. We saw Quantum playing this yesterday in the Uncapped, and he was able to find success with it. And now Echo Voice will take his turn at it. Vladimir also rounding out the team composition over there. Gragas, Caitlyn, Braum. So we're definitely seeing different teams each time here. Neither of these organizations is defaulting back to the same thing. We're seeing a lot of variation, and this one, after having the double big tank comp for a few games, it's just Shafty on the cow, and Gangplank is taking Ignite, just as Mastery 7 Ribbon did in the first game on Darius. So very interesting game here.
Right. I do like the Caitlyn pick for the red team. I love her traps. She's such an effective AD carry, especially if Braum there to protect her. It should be a very competitive bot lane.
Absolutely, and that's very important for them to have the safety, the range that Caitlyn brings, because, of course, Vayne, short range, high damage, hyper carry late, but Caitlyn will be able to bully him out early, and their plan here is Shafty picking up an Orianna ball on his head, running in there, knocking the team up, comboing that with a command shockwave, but Caitlyn is able to stay pretty far back from that and use her net to get out afterwards. So definitely a strong pick there in the AD carry spot. I'm interested to see how this Talia works, because it's obviously the league's newest champion, and for a while it's been considered unplayable or really good, depending on when you look at it.
Right.
And this weekend it's been really good.
Mm-hmm. She definitely had some struggles when she first came out, I think, and of course I think that's just players figuring out her kit and learning how to do her combo correctly. And then a few weeks in, she became one of the top mid laners.
Right. Yeah, and this is the first time we've at least seen Echoed Voice on. I'm not sure, don't have the stats if he's played it earlier in the tournament, but certainly the first time we'll get to watch him on it, and the stakes here are pretty high. This is the momentum decider. They split the first 2 games. It's 1-1. The team that wins this one will be one away from taking down the title, and the team that loses this one has their back against the wall, has to 2-0 to move on from there. So a lot on the line here in this game that could easily decide, what team is in the spot to finish things up and they can become the champions.
Definitely, and we have seen a lot more competitiveness out of this Plat-Capped tournament, for sure, compared to our Uncapped tournament yesterday. So we have a lot of potential to see a lot of good plays, but we also do get to see those mistakes that we didn't see yesterday.
Yeah, it's been pretty interesting, I think, to watch because there's no doubt we've had more competitive games on this side of the bracket, which is great, and they've been swingy. Obviously, 2 games here, we have 2 different winners, and a lot of these things go as sweeps, and this has not been the case at least so far here in the finals. So both teams have their strengths, have some weaknesses, of course, and this is not the challenger mid player along with 3 high diamonds. These are players ranging from, we had players here from platinum all the way down to bronze and silver. So, and a lot of teams had fun. You got a lot of games, and we had round robin on Friday. It's not just about winning. It's about hanging out with your friends, having a good weekend, playing a lot of League of Legends together, and you only get better by showing up.
For sure.
Yeah, one of our teams, Team Resolve, just finished up their 3rd place match. They fell yesterday, not making the finals, but talked to them a little bit about it before we came into the booth here, and they had a great time this weekend and learned a lot and feel like they got better. And that's the way you want to approach these things, win or lose.
For sure, especially if you do lose. Instead of going that tilt mentality, really should consider what you're gaining from coming to tournaments like this, from competing against people who are better than you. You get to learn a lot, and you get to see a lot of things that you don't see in your normals or even in your division.
Yeah, I mean, there's no replacement for 5-on-5 team play. It's just the absolute pinnacle of competitive play. And solo queue ranked is great, but it's never going to match having 5 people in this case, right next to each other in the same room, or even together in Skype as you play. So this is how you get better. You learn so much from these, win or lose.
I'm definitely excited to see this blue team. They've definitely built an all-in kind of composition here with the Alistar and the Echo and the Gangplank ult. So,
and that's what we saw from them in both games thus far. It worked out in the first game. They were able to combo everything. The last game, they just were kited. They had the same kind of all-in comp. They had Alistar. They had Volibear. They had a Riven. They wanted to dive in, but they were just kited forever by Lux and by Braum, and that's why we saw Lux banned out. I mean, that said, Talia can do a lot of those same things, so we'll see if they're able to find success. But one command shockwave on top of Alistar can almost certainly swing things. I see you in chat here. I'll figure it out. Hey, we have the summoner boxes they sent us.
And also, just an update for, I had a couple questions yesterday about how I'm faring. It is freezing cold in this building. It is still 40 degrees. They did not turn off the air conditioner. I am still here trembling, but we are going to bring you a great broadcast.
That is a good point. It's, I appreciate that they did it because obviously it's very warm outside.
Right.
And convention centers have a tendency to get very hot, very uncomfortable.
Especially with all the computers and all of the heat.
Yeah. So we appreciate them keeping it cold. That said, it's been very cold. I think I had 4 shirts on yesterday. It's a shirt and a jersey, and then the volunteer shirt, and then another jersey, just to try to keep warm. But all right, we're into the game here. Looks like some normal starts as we see Doughboy start at the Gromp, as does Yeet on Echo. I think the lane to watch here, maybe the top lane. It's going to be, high sustain on both champions. So probably a lot of fighting, not necessarily a lot of killing. Though Master 7 Riven taking Ignite does mean he can reduce some of the self-healing that Jack will bring to the table, which will be important both in the lane if they brawl, but very much important in the late game.
For sure. And I like seeing this early game damage from Caitlyn already. She's already, pounding away at Vayne and pounding away at Alistar.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking advantage of that range that she's able to look at. Just so much poke right here. Takes just one shot in return as they really do a chunk there to Shafty. Of course, as soon as Shafty hits 2, he will have that heal to try to help his team sustain, but they're paying the price early. Though good job by Vayne actually up on CS here. holding her own in the farm war. That has been the first 10 minutes of both of our games so far here in the finals.
Yeah, and I definitely think Caitlyn needs to stay on top of poking Vayne down and trying to distract Vayne from that CS, because a fed Vayne is never fun for the other team.
And that was, if there's anything to criticize, it's in that last exchange, they stayed focused on Alistar even when Vayne was in auto attack range of Caitlyn, and Caitlyn outranges Vayne, so maybe that damage would have been better redirected, because as you can see, Shafty is still not full HP. If that was Vayne at that amount rather than the cow, any sort of gank over the next 2 minutes would have much more kill pressure.
Sure. We see Gragas rotating to the top.
Yeah, could have a play up here. Looks like he
changed his mind.
Maybe hanging out for the counter gank. Doesn't want to go for it, as we expected. A lot of trading and healing being done up top. Yeah, it's been the name of the game so far in this series, is farming early and ganking mid-game. We haven't seen any of the level 3 ganks where you come in fast and try to get your team going. It's been very much controlled, safe, farm to level 6, then bring the ganks. So it'll be interesting if there's any adaptation from either team as we move forward.
It might be a little bit of a confidence thing too. In our uncapped tournament yesterday, we would see those level 3 ganks and that high pressure, but not so much in the Plat-Capped so far.
That's right, and you know, this lane is pushed down. The red team is pretty exposed here. Don't actually even have a ward though. It looks like Braum thinking about getting one out now. Some MIA pings going down. They are able to spot out some vision in the bush, which is good timing, because Echo is waiting in the wings down here to try to possibly make a play. He hits level 4 as he finishes off the Grom.
And now might be a good time. Blue team does not have wards out. Or red team, excuse me.
Yeah, they just have this one Tribush ward, but they won't see him in time if he comes through. Obviously, Echo can close a lot of distance very fast, but in the end opts to not do that and head over to the Raptors. So taking stock 5 minutes in here, well, it's a little aggression by Vayne there, but in the first 2 games, we had seen early leads go over to Land Snakes based on the farm. We saw First Blood a couple times, or once rather, one of those accounted for it, but the other was a farm-based lead. This time though, 4.5 white guys fighting back, have the CS advantage in the top lane, have the CS even everywhere else, and that's enough to eke out a small lead.
Definitely. Everyone just going back to the basics here, just keeping up on their CS, minor trades here and there, but nothing exciting so far.
And you can feel the pressure. I think that's what it is. You know, not the pressure of have to perform or anything like that, just the pressure of knowing the situation that they're in, what this game means. You're not loose when it's 1-1, you know. You have that first game jitters, but both teams loosen up in the last game, but now all of a sudden we had a small break in there, we got lunch, and now it's a best of 3, and both teams know how important it is to strike first here. So nobody wants to make a mistake, nobody wants to mess up and give up that first blood, and that's why as we near the 7-minute mark of the game, things have been extremely slow thus far. Neither jungler even making a play into a lane. No, Echo is at level 5, halfway to level 6, just bot, making his way toward the bottom. Recalls coming in from both bottom lanes, so Gragas on that side of the map as well at his blue buff. Could have some action down here, as both teams have shown a desire to take dragons throughout the match, so I would not be surprised if over the next few minutes something happens.
For sure, especially once Echo hits 6, I feel like we're going to see a gank somewhere for sure.
Right, and we have Command Shockwave up. One of the things we didn't touch on is the lack of teleport on the side of 4.5 white guys. They had really good teleports in the first game, completely on point. Last game they had 2 on their team and basically got nothing out of them. This game, so they go 0. Orianna takes barrier. Gangplank takes Ignite. Now, like we thought, we do see some posturing down here by the dragon as they try to win that vision war for the coming fight. Shafty waiting in the wings over here. Looks like this wave will be pushing into Magic.
The Land Snake does have pretty good control of that bot river, so that may make it tough for Echo to make a move down here.
Yeah, he's going to make a try, though. Waiting in the tri-bush. They haven't peeked, they're not seen. All right, Shafty lands the knock-up. Nice job by Echo with the parallel convergence. Gets a stun. Gragas is here as well. Here comes the teleport, though. They choose to back off. That's a great decision because they can't match that teleport. Now, will they survive? Shafty trying to make it out. Jack gets knocked into the turret. Takes one shot. That's all. Both teams back off. Nice, excellent job there. Gragas was there, but he came in, uses the parallel convergence, gets the double stun. That is why they were able to survive the teleport coming in, and that's a win for them.
That was, and not one death either on either side, so that was good retreat.
Oh my gosh, just kidding. Here comes Echoed Voice taking the Talia wall, gets knocked back into him. He gets popped up, he gets slowed. One more will do it. Echoed Voice takes him down. Meanwhile, Vayne goes on under the turret, though they do get Vlad back in response. Oriana, meanwhile, pushes up in the middle, was not able to run down. I was going to say that you do nothing except if you're 4.5 white guys, you did nothing with 3 people. Meanwhile, Landsnake committed 4 people down there in the bottom lane, and you're still shoving it in on the top, but it did not go that way as we see Landsnake take the dragon. So let's go ahead and take a replay of that one. See just how this went down. All right, there after the initial engage, we see them underneath the turret. Shafty just steps up too far, and Jack takes him out with the Hemo Plague.
Yeah, then the Talia, she just deals out some really good damage and able to take down Echo.
Right. Yeah, and Jack tried to use the pool to get away from the turret there. However, it's possible that his team could have juggled aggro a little better to get him out, but they pick up the kill and he does go down. So it's something back if you're 4.5 white guys. But 10 minutes in, we finally saw that first play, that first gank, and it was explosive. It results in a 1,300 gold lead right now.
And
for
a dragon.
Landsnake and a dragon. All right, back to live action here. Both teams farming it out once again. We saw them punished by the no teleport play there because while the kill didn't come through immediately, it certainly was a part of it. It was a reason why they were able to make that work. And now Jack with a kill and assist, Kaylin with a kill and assist. Those are champions that when they get going, Kaylin can use that range to bully Vayne out of the lane, and Vladimir just won't die. You see Kaylin get the, oh, here we go. We got to play in the middle. Oriana gets Echoed Voice, gets a second one, but is not able to finish him off. Has that barrier, no ignite, doesn't make it happen. Now the first winner's bite lands on Magic. Concussive blow. He's able to knock Tall Ice Sky back. Will they finish off the concussive blow on Alistair? They won't. They'll drop off. There was a potential there if they got a 4th auto win to get the stun from the Braum passive, but not able to make it work.
And that showdown there in the middle, Talia hit her level just in time to survive that last hit.
Yeah, that was very close right there. Chris Can't Miss has been on point in this series so far and almost pulled off a solo kill there. Meanwhile, Echo is able to arrive and work with him on the tower. They don't quite finish it. Talia's here, so is Doughboy. No flash up, there won't be a flash body slam, and he walks back as they are barely able to save their turret. So after the first 2 games in which we saw the Landsnakes taken early to mid-game excuse me, advantage, they're doing it again. They have just consistently had the better end of the early ganks, and once again it's resulted in a gold lead for them, as well as control of the map, control of the vision. Echo clears out one on the bottom, but there's nothing he's able to do as they step back to safety.
Right, the Caitlyn traps, the Braum. This bot lane is just really powerful right now.
Yeah, and here we just see Gangplank using the cannon barrage to try to slow down. Now Chris gets knocked back, but Echo is not able to finish him off. Don't think Chris wants this fight. He's low on mana. Just walks away from it. So farming continues. Now that's what we want to touch on up top. Gangplank, despite not having teleport, never mind, we got to play mid. Doughboy doesn't land it. The shield comes down. The command shockwave goes down. Will Doughboy go down? Chris gets another shield, and Gragas makes it out with a sliver of health, under 20. Really well played there by Chris to not die. Shielded immediately. Used the shockwave. Now Yeet is going to try to finish off Echoed Voice. He takes so much damage. Uses his ultimate back out of there. Chrono shifts away.
No one could finish that last fight.
Right. Both of those teams had players extremely low, but nobody could finish off. Orianna used that command shockwave the whole time with Doughboy taking turret aggro, took a bunch of shots and just barely walked out of there with his life, and then it was the Echoed Voice who barely got out after that as Yeet arrived to try to clean up on the counter gank.
Those Orianna shields are going to be very beneficial for blue team later in the game.
Yeah, that was very good there. Absolutely saved his life. He had to get 2 of them off. But what I was saying before that is Vlad has the teleport on his team, and Mastery 7 Riven on Gangplank does not. And yet, we see a 20 CS lead for Vladimir. Jack loves Lamp in that top lane. So already has completed the Zonya's Hourglass. It's going to be very difficult to kill.
And with the Gangplank ult being global, he can place it anywhere. Usually, I don't see a lot of Gangplanks take teleport.
Right. Yeah, it absolutely makes sense that he has the abilities that he has. It's the problem is that he's down now 20 plus on farm. You have to, when you are staying in the lane and your opponent is not, you cannot be down this much CS, and that is gonna. It doesn't seem incredibly relevant right now. I mean, both of them can sit in lane and sustain, but you know, it manifests itself in the items. Vladimir has that Hourglass finish, and Gangplank doesn't have a completed item.
Yeah, he has a kill and an assist, and Gangplank is sitting up there 0 all.
Right. Yeah, it's not even able to pick an assist. Used a cannon barrage just to try to save the bottom tower earlier. Wasn't even able to use it in a fight. So, 15 minutes in, good tumble there by Vayne, get away from the winner's fight. But again, things have settled down. The dragon has spawned. I think we're going to see a fight there. Oh, here we go. Here comes the play. Echo's on his way in. Great job there by Shafty. Gets the knock up. Knocks Tall X guy back. Vayne jumps on in. Parallel convergence comes down. Gets a stun. Gangplank not in time for the assist there, but it's a lot of damage going down on Bad Cop. Echo picks it up. Yeet with another. This fight isn't over. Magic is here. Echoed Voice is here. The wall is up. The command shockwave, though, is huge, and Chris can't miss. Is able to take out Talia Zach. Vlad's the next to go. They get one back on Vayne as he gets a little too deep there with Gragas, but all in all, that is a 4-for-1 by 4.5 white guys, and an absolutely huge play to get back in this game.
They definitely needed that.
Yeah, it's not quite the full amount of gold for Gangplank as his ultimate, the Cannon Barrage, was just a little late after that first kill, but he will be able to take the turret up top. And unless Gragas makes a play here, and there is a smite available, so it comes down to the steal. Echo gets it. Ace in the hole on Yeet, though. He gets a small shield trying to survive. I think Shafty's going down. Yeet is able to tumble over the wall, so they trade one back for the dragon. Meanwhile, though, they do lose the turret on the top lane. This isn't over. All right, Yeet, AF, going to not fall, barely makes it out. Magic gets the shield from Orianna, and that allows him to survive, as well as that winner bite is not predictive enough.
That was a very narrow dodge.
This has razor close. 2 people just ticking red down there. All right, let's take a replay as we do see them go for the mid turret. But I want a replay of that fight because that was wild.
That was.
All right, here we go. Back to the beginning of it. All right, walk me through this right here.
Okay, so we see Echo come in, and Caitlyn's just not able to survive that damage.
Right.
And then we see the ult from Gangplank, so he does eventually get to pick up 2 assists here, so that'll help him up in the top lane.
Yeah, Jack was just not quite able. That was really a nice wall there by Talia, but an even better command shockwave by Chris. Vayne was caught on the wrong side there as he tried to tumble away. It didn't quite work, but that was a pretty incredible fight. A very, very nice setup between Yeet and Shafty. And as we know, it resulted in a dragon, though, and another turret. Now, we have, this is the response here by the Land Snakes. They tried to force down the middle, didn't get it. Now another fight in the bottom. You see them trying to focus out Caitlyn. Vayne getting CC for a very long time. They've done a lot of damage to Braum, trying to get in there on Caitlyn instead of just knocking him back with the assist. I don't think that's what they wanted. Oh, Vayne is not able to finish it, and now he's in trouble. Oh, he goes aggressive here on Tall X Guy. Gets the tumble, gets the kill.
Yeah, that damage on Vayne, Caitlyn just couldn't deal it out fast enough.
Yeah. That was, and it looked not great there for 4.5 white guys, as they had a lot of damage split between the two targets, but barely able to finish it off. Now they go hard in the middle. Echoed Voice goes down to the command shockwave. Hemoplay goes out by Vladimir, trying to chase down Chris. The shields are huge, although the second proc of it does finish it off. Now Echo trying to get away. Jack is really big for his team right now. 2-2-2 with 183 CS at 20 minutes.
Now later in the game, we're probably going to see Gragas and Braum jump in, and Vladimir and Caitlyn are just going to deal out all the damage for their team.
And Yeet AF takes the faster way, I guess, back to the base there. Goes down. Wanted to shop. Goes down to the turret. Trying to get some damage in on it. Second death to a neutral objective this match there. But, you know, credit to him. He's actually played very well in this game. After some missteps in the first one early, he came back, had a huge game on Gragas. Everyone looked a little out of sorts last game for them, but he's been solid so far. Had some very nice parallel convergences to get stuns, and that has made a difference for his team here.
For sure.
Of course, the personal story for Yeet is that he's competing in these tournaments for a year and a half. This is his 6th or 7th tournament, I believe, and he has multiple second place finishes, and almost every time it's been to Land Snake.
Oh, no.
Land Snake being an organization that has several teams, sometimes has multiple ones in a tournament, and has some titles under their belt, and Yeet has been through multiple teams here, but hasn't been able to finish one off.
So this is personal.
Yeah, this is huge for him. Talked to him a little bit about it before the match, and he really wants this. And here he comes. He wants Echoed Voice. Lets him walk back. Now this is where them not finishing off that turret matters, because they couldn't follow up on that.
Right.
Echoed Voice without Ghost or Flash up would have been vulnerable.
I'm surprised this mid turret is still up. I mean, I know there's been a lot of rotation bot, and there's been a lot of fights down there, but they really need to get this mid turret to free up some room.
Yeah, and speaking of, Caitlyn takes that bottom turret. They're going to try to get it. They have 3 members here, but Braum is behind them, and there's a 4th member that has arrived for Land Snakes. Yeet will take down this ward as everybody heads towards the middle for the fight. I'd like to see blue side send Gangplank to the bottom. He's already got that turret up top.
Right.
He's not yet at a point where he feels comfortable pushing to the next one, and now he might be caught, and this is why. Hemoplay goes down. Gragas finishes it off. Zanya's there saving him.
Vladimir just has great sustain.
Right. And that's what I was saying there. He doesn't feel comfortable pushing to the second tower because he can get collapsed on, and that can happen. Sitting in bottom where he has that other turret to face and maybe freeze the lane up top for your Vayne as best as possible. Just let him farm. Instead, it's Vayne on the bottom as we have another fight breaking out. Teleport coming in, and we see 4.5 white guys running back. Unbreakable Will goes on for Shafty. He's going to be very hard to kill.
tries to take as much as possible, and he tried to take too much. Goes down, the displacement. Now Chris running for his life in the back line here. Dragon spawns, and it's Land Snakes who are in control of it.
This is going to put them at a dragon ahead, and that's going to... They're already a gold lead ahead, too,
Right.
so...
And we don't have... This mid turret is still alive for Land Snakes.
Still holding on.
As well as the bottom one, very close. And, you know, maybe if the team had sent Gangplank down there, had Vayne with them, they might have been able to pick up at least either the mid or the bottom. Instead, you had Gangplank still pushing the top where there's no objective he can realistically get. And as a result, you get nothing for it. You lose the team fight. Now you're down 1,000 gold and still don't have those turrets.
Agreed, yeah, because even if you do sing Gangplank bot and there are fights happening mid, he could still contribute with his ult.
Right, and he's pushing an objective you can get something on. He's until you win a fight or have far better ward coverage than you currently do, he's not going to be able to get to that inner turret on the top side. Speaking of vision, there is very little of it in the jungles of both teams. Land Snakes have not played much on the opposing side of the map, though you can see they are both at one turret apiece. They have not had the control. They've been on the defensive, and it's worked out well for them. But that means if you're 4.5 white guys and you're trying to push up, you need to have that warded, and Gangplank absolutely needs it warded if he's going to be split pushing up there.
They definitely have a lot of ward coverage bot lane, but I would like to see that in the opposing jungle.
Yeah. Absolutely. So looking over the items here, we see the Frozen Mallet completed on Gragas. He's going to be extremely sticky. Meanwhile, Echoed Voice, though, trying to get soloed. Oh, I don't know if he wanted to do this. This is going to give another set of cooldowns. Is able to flash it out, but does not get away from Chris. He doesn't miss. Yet again, picks up the kill, and now they will finally take down that mid turret. Chris has just been on point all series in that middle lane. 3-1-1. 205 CS, 20 up on his lane opponent, and has looked great. Almost solo killed him multiple times. Their jungler arrives to help finish it off, and they take 2 turrets and the gold lead.
There we go. And Orianna is a pretty strong counter to Talia as well.
Orianna just offers the team so much. Can poke on her own, can shield teammates. Shockwave is huge utility to team fight. You know, the downside in not picking those turrets up earlier is they lost one of those fights because of it.
Right.
However, now that they do pick them up, you see the farm leads come out, and Gangplank has done a very good job catching up to Vlad. A lot of that money is really concentrated in the middle on the 3-1-1 Orianna, and that and the additional turrets is where I see this 2,000 gold lead right now, as both teams here try to move to the commanding position in the finals here. It's a best of 5. We're tied at 1 apiece, and while the first game was close, the second one was a stomp. This one is even closer as we hit the 26-minute mark. This thing can go either way.
Like I said, I'm not real sure what happened that second game, because the first game was close, this one's close. Maybe some miscommunication, maybe some bad team comp choices.
Right. All right, here we go. Yeet going in on Doughboy. The teams are around for both players. Parallel convergence is trying to get his shield. He's got to go out. Shockwave whiff. They need to disengage from this fight, but there's Shafty puts on the Unbreakable Will. They need to give this one up. They're trying to run away. Shafty getting shielded by Chris. Chris able to dodge Winter's Bite. Shafty, though, goes down to Jack. They're trying to run out of there, but Chris is doing a lot of damage on the back end of this. They get another parallel convergence. That Shockwave did miss for the first time for Chris. That would have been huge because they had Alistair on the back end. He could have knocked them up following the Shockwave. Instead, it becomes a disaster. They lose one. Still poking as Chris has a lot of damage, but he's running low on mana.
Right, and a lot of red members very low on health here.
Yeah. This thing can go either way, but it's going to take... it's going to be difficult for either team to engage this right now, and we do see them both just back off.
Right, that's what I would do. I would back, heal up, spend what gold you have.
Yeah. You have to feel pretty lucky, I think, if you're 4.5 white guys there, that didn't go any worse for them.
Yeet was there, but he was there a little early. The shockwave completely missed, and once that's gone, you just have to give up the fight because they weren't able to follow it up. You only lose one there. You don't lose an objective. If something bad's going to happen to you and you're going to miss an ability, that is the best result you can hope for.
Right, your support going down, but other than that, that could have gotten a lot worse.
Right. They lose no map pressure because of it. They lose no objectives. They still don't have a ton of deep vision down, but they do retain that gold lead. As another dragon spawns in a minute, I suspect there's going to be another fight in about 50 seconds.
Alistar hasn't upgraded his trinket yet, which I'm surprised.
That
So
just did, I think, right? Literally,
just
as
did.
he heard you talking
heard
about
me.
it upgraded.
As a support main, I catch those little
Right.
things.
All right, Jack and Riven trading the top lane. I think this could be bad news for Gangplank. Gets a heal off. The Hemoglobin does a lot. He takes so much damage. Gets the Ignite down, but the Zhonya's comes out. Echo is here. Will he be able to finish it off? Get some damage down. Trying to get there. Will Jack have the pull up? He gets the pull up, but I think the dash is going to be there. But he healed so much.
Talia,
Forced the Chrono Shift away. Gangplank barely survives that ace in the hole.
and Vladimir barely survived that as well. If Talia
Right.
wouldn't have came in right then, he was
Yeah.
probably a goner.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. He has so much life steal. Almost died multiple times in that fight. So as it turns out, the dragon spawns in the bottom. The fight breaks out in the top. And nobody's on the dragon. But here
Right.
come the land snakes.
Yeah, they're doing a good job rotating down here. Blue team is a little bit behind, but you see them coming in, collapsing in. So
Right.
we might have a fight here as well.
Yeah, I think we're going to get it now. The thing to note here is that we have Vlad heading to the top. He has his teleport available. Gangplank does not have teleport and is in the top as well. So all they're going to have from him is an ultimate, a cannon barrage, if he stays up there. Don't believe he has a way to interrupt the teleport from Vlad. So this is not a fight that 4.5 white guys are positioned well heading into.
No, and we see red team has a lot of good ward coverage around the dragon. We do see a pink ward by the blue, but they're going to need a little bit more vision to be comfortable with this fight.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting that we haven't seen the force come in yet from the land snakes. Maybe a missed opportunity there because Gangplank has returned to the base and is heading back to the top. As a matter of fact, not heading there. They can need to recognize that they can force this dragon, either get the dragon for free or force the 4v4 that will become a 4v5 in their favor, but not yet pulling the trigger.
Wasting a little bit of time down here in the river. Everyone's just kind of waiting for the next big thing to happen.
Yeah, as we hit our 31st minute of the game, neither team willing to pull the trigger here, and Gangplank and Vlad are going to crash into each other again up in the top as the dance continues. Both teams want the vision. Here it comes, though. They've blocked off Vayne. This is going to be huge. The shockwave lands it too. Here comes the Gangplank ultimate. Vayne is here, though. Will he be able to clear out? Flash is trying to finish off the next guy. Gets a heal, but he's by himself now. Over the wall dies. Sheet comes in. Shafty has arrived. Gets the knock up there, finishes him off, and they clean this fight up somehow. Vayne is here. Gangplank never was, and they still somehow win the fight as it's an ace as Chris hits it. What? I cannot believe that they were able to take that fight.
Now,
You
and
saw what Landsnake wanted to do. They threw down the Talia wall because they were able to cut Vayne off from the team, but they weren't able to finish anyone off, and that meant Vayne arrived with half HP members to take down, and they
Right.
don't waste time with the dragon. They send one person there, and they rush down the objectives. Gangplank gets one top, they get one bottom. It's a 6,000 gold lead,
that's definitely what they needed to turn this game around into their favor.
right? He might need some help.
This is an
here.
agonizingly slow dragon.
Yeah, he might need some help. They need to get out. They're not going to finish this. They actually get a little help there by Gragas, send them on their way. All right, I think he's going to get this one. Let's go watch that fight. That was a great fight. Okay, here we go. We see the posturing. We see them lining it up.
right, here it comes. Oh, this is after the fight. No. All right, here we go. Maybe. I want to show you guys this fight again, but we did not get it. We're going to try one more time here. All right, here it comes. You see the poke going down by both teams. They try to sweep out this ward. There it is. They cut Vayne off from the team because he showed mid. That shockwave got two, and somehow Chris just doesn't die there. He gets knocked back away, and Yeet was just so tanky, and then gets a bunch. And look at this. His teleport is late. This fight is over by the time Vlad gets here, and he's coming in the back. That's not what they wanted. Good flash over the wall by Chris as the blood pool comes down. And that the teleport being late and them focusing the wrong target, they went on the tank Echo instead of Orianna, and that was the difference right there. Despite an excellent Talia wall, the focus wasn't great and the teleport was late.
And I think they could have avoided the ace. All of his teammates were down. Jack probably should have just got out and cut his losses there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if he had started that teleport immediately, because you have to expect that they were setting that fight over 45 seconds, and yet it came through late, and that he needed to, if he shows up as soon as they pop that Talia ultimate and crush in on that team, then he lands, and he's landing right on top of Vayne as Vayne comes in the fight, and he's just able to destroy him.
Definitely. And a testament to true Magic, he is a Vayne main player. He will take Vayne AD carry. He'll take Vayne top. He'll take Vayne wherever. And just by barely surviving that fight, you know, doing his tumbles at the right moment, doing his condemns, he was able to survive.
Right, and here we go. Another fight breaks out by the Baron this time, and it's a 2-for-0 as we see further close fights. But again, Echo tanking so much damage as his team is able to get two down, and now they're forcing down the middle lane. They have Shafty out in front, healing the team, tanking up the damage, but they don't have the minion wave yet. Looks like they're going to choose to back, spend some of that 7,000 gold lead. I think we were catching up there, but I think they just caught him out. Both teams trying to ward up Baron, and they were able to take down Doughboy and follow it up with Jack.
And that is not what they want right now. They are down in gold. They are down in towers. They can't be getting caught out like that.
Right, and they do scale, you know, fairly. Vlad is going to be a monster for this entire game, and Caitlyn's always strong, but it's not going to do better than Vayne. That Vayne split push, as we see him return time and again to the bottom lane. 6-2-4, Magic is on Vayne. Orianna 5-1-6. Chris did miss one ult. The name is a lie, but the game has been good.
Yeah, definitely those Orianna shields have been coming in clutch for sure. She has been saving her teammates within inches of their life.
Right, over and over again. And we've seen game planning work out for both teams that have picked it as well. 1-1-8 there by Mastery 7 Riven, who interestingly does have Mastery 7 on Riven, played Riven last game, and had no impact.
Might be a troll name.
But doing very well on all of his other champions here. So, nearing the 37-minute mark, both teams trying to just save their vision, have eyes on Baron. Dragon spawns in 1 minute and 50 seconds. It's a 7,000 gold lead for 4.5 white guys as they try to take the commanding 2-1 lead in this best of 5 series. You win this one, you're one Nexus away from the championship here at Tokyo and Tulsa.
Exactly. Got nice ward coverage at Baron by the blue team. Also, the red team has some great wards out as well, so they may try to force a fight there.
Yeah, everyone here, we see flanking position by Echo, but he's walled off by Talia. The fight in the middle, the shockwave only hits one, and it's a tank. That's not what you want, but an insane parallel convergence is able to stun up multiple people. Now Jack's running for his life. Everyone flashing away on land snakes, but Yeet is there with the dash. Jack goes into the bottle. He doesn't come back out. Echoed Voice is the next to fall. Talia down as well. Doughboy the only one alive. 5 members up for 4.5 white guys as they just destroy that fight. It wasn't the best shockwave we've seen, but the flank by Yeet on Echo was so good. They get the 4 for 0. They get the Baron after it.
Definitely. And they will probably rotate to get Dragon as well.
Right. Dragon up in 30 seconds. They can recall and be there in time. So before that Dragon fight, let's look at that one more time here. All right, here it comes. You see another nice Talia ult as she comes in. Also walls off Echo. Flash by Shafty knocking him up. The shockwave comes in. Look at this by Yeet. He gets Echoed Voice and Caitlyn in it. Stuns both the damage dealers. It finishes one off, and after that, the fight is won. Great play there by Yeet on Echo to just completely carry that fight for his team.
Definitely. And the damage being put out by Vayne right now. He was down in the bot lane to Caitlyn, but now
Right.
he is just soared past her.
Absolutely. This has been the wombo from 4.5 white guys in the games that they have won. It's just been so on point, and that was one of the better. I think that's right up there with that Gragas play we saw Yeet make in the first game. Just been so game-changing with these big plays out of the jungle. Now the Dragon has spawned. It is the Elder Dragon. Both teams really want that objective.
Yeah.
Tied 2-2 on Dragons, so the team that's able to finish that off is just going to catapult very far ahead. Obviously, though, this is a nice rotation. They pick up the turret for free. Echoed Voice could be caught here. It's a two-front fight. The front on the back is what matters, and it's Jacklove's Lamp getting exploded by Vayne. The ultimate by Gragas is too late. The explosive cast can't save him. Now Bad Cop's in trouble on the backside. He's getting collapsed on as his team leaves him to die. A 2 for 0.
That is not what they wanted.
Not at all. They wanted, I was going to say before that, we've seen teams throw, oh wow, and they're just chasing them down as Mastery 7. Riven picks up another, and now he just deletes Caitlyn. Echoed Voice. Whoa, he gets too close there. Plays with the fire a little bit, but that doesn't matter. Orianna finishes it off. They're on the Nexus turrets. First one goes down, second one goes down, and then the Nexus. There you go. A 2-1 lead for 4.5 white guys as they take down Landstake in 40 minutes. That was a close game from start to finish, but they really put their foot
Yes.
down at the end.
Definitely. And such a different game than from the last game we just saw.
Absolutely. And I didn't, we noticed this in between. We didn't love the body language that I was seeing out of 4.5 white guys. They're all sitting at their computer, heads in their hands, just
Right.
doing their own thing. Not really what you want, but man, did they ever bounce back there, and all of a sudden they are in commanding position. So stick with us. We'll be right back here with what could be the deciding game here at Tokyo and Tulsa. Hey everybody, welcome back to the finals of Tokyo and Tulsa League of Legends Plat-Capped tournament. This could be the end here. This could be it. We have on the blue side, you see we're jumping right into Champ Select. On the blue side, we have Team Landsnake, who are down 2-1 games to Team 4.5 white guys here, who could end it all with a win. So I'm Corbin Hosler. This is Jared Cole. Thank you for sticking with us here. And this might be the last game of the day. We've had two really good games out of these teams and one stomp that it was actually the one that Landsnakes picked up. So no telling what's going to happen in this game, but this is all the pressure right here.
Yep. And they're still coming in with the same picks for most teams.
Yeah.
The Draven again.
Yeah. So this is the first game that I believe that Landsnakes have not banned Zach, and we see it just get first picked over there by the 4.5 white guys. So I would not be surprised if that is going to be impactful. Obviously, they've been angling for it for a while. So Echo has been a really contested pick, as well as Orianna. We've seen Echo and Orianna in 3 of the 4 games.
Kind of strange. They're generally not really popular champions in the current meta, but these teams seem to have a high priority on picking them up.
Yeah, we're definitely getting something new here. That's for sure. It's every one of these games has just run the gamut of champions. Not a lot of repeats. at all. Just the few that have gone back and forth, but we do see Echoed Voice going right back to Talia after having a pretty rough game on it last time around.
Placed his ults really well.
Yeah.
Did well there, but the team was not able to win the fights. So they could force the fights,
Right.
but they
Yeah.
were too far behind to actually get the damage to win them.
Yeah, they didn't have the damage, and they didn't have some of the focus, honestly. They had a couple close fights where, at the end of it, the tank was walking out with 70% damage done to him, and while the ADC survived.
Yeah.
So, let's see, though. But Poppy coming in for the first time in the series, as
Yeah.
well as Nautilus and Ezreal.
And it would be kind of strange to pick Aurelia into Poppy. Poppy has a very strong matchup into Aurelia. So, and generally, Aurelia saved as a counter pick
Right.
for, more ranged champions, poke champions. So,
We'll see, though. He's hovering it and does choose to lock it in. So we have two new champions this time for 4.5 white guys, with Yeet playing that Zac and Mastery 7 Riven picking up that Irelia. So these are some really interesting teams, to be honest. On the one side, Tall X Guy, after getting caught repeatedly last game, picks up Ezreal. And honestly, I think that's not a bad counter when you know you're going to square off against Zac.
yeah. You can generally dash out of that. You can also, if you buffer your E correctly, dash out of the Alistar Pulverize combo.
Yeah.
You just have to start it as he dashes towards you, and even though the knockup will hit you, you'll still get your dash out.
Right. So it's going to be, I think, a very interesting game here. That's for sure. Now, the thing, though, Draven is a fairly immobile ADC, and they do have the ability to depth charge him with Nautilus, jump in with Echo. This could be trouble for Draven in this one.
Poppy jump him. Nautilus has 4 or 5 forms of CC. I believe 5.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. And, of course, they have to get to him. He has an Alistar to peel for him. He has a Zac. He has a command Shockwave as well to pull them back. But nothing's going to stop that initial knockup for Nautilus. So they're putting a lot onto Orianna and Draven in this game. And we'll see. Of course, Chris has been performing the entire series and did so in that last game as well. But
They'll also have the extra damage coming in with an Aurelia, especially if he he kept Ignite instead of teleports. There are no teleports on their team.
This is what they did last game as well, but they had Gangplank and had that global presence. They don't have that to fall back on this time. So it may not work out quite as well for them.
That gives a lot of playmaking opportunity to the Poppy to TP bottom if they can get deep wards in lane and try and make something happen there.
Yeah, and they had that, that possibility last game, and they did all right with it. I wouldn't say they, certainly didn't have any huge swinging plays as a result, but they were close, and we'll see if they're able to, execute a little better this time around.
I'm also interested to see how this Zac works out if it has been banned away every game. They're obviously scared of it for some reason, so...
Yeah, I can only assume then that it's been Yeet's go-to in practice scrims, and now they finally pull the trigger on it here as the Gragas, the Vayne, and the Zillion were banned away. 3 champions that have been extremely good in this series for 4.5 white guys who are now just 1 game away from taking it all down here at Tokyo and Tulsa. We saw Quantum Physics and his team, Team Unicorn, win the Uncapped yesterday. And now could have our other champion one Nexus later. We'll see. Backs against the wall here for Team Lansing. So we saw them take kind of an extended huddle, a little bit of a break there between those games. What do you think the attitude needs to be? The things they're saying to each other as they get ready with their back against the wall here to try to save off elimination.
I think it's very important to play to win and not to not lose.
Right.
They need to not be scared and play so defensively that they're going to lose that they can't go out and make plays to win.
Right.
So they need to focus on making proactive plays, trying to control the map, and not react, but force the other team to react.
Right, and they certainly have champions that can do that. These champions cannot... You can't play Echo passively. You have to be able to go in there and make a play and land on that parallel convergence and make something happen. We'll see if they're able to do that. They were able to. We've seen Echo do that on both sides so far today. So
Yep.
Big chance here for Doughboy to come through. I think, it's been very interesting, and I keep returning to the junglers, but I feel like every lane has been farm fests, and the junglers have really decided things. And we've seen the full range here for Yeet in his personal quest to, to beat Lambsake and win a tournament. But we saw him miss a flash body slam in the very first gank of this series. We saw him die to a red buff. It's been a little shaky, but at the same time, he has 2 game-winning plays that I would say are the play of the game. The Groggish flash body slam ult into Alistair knockup won them game 1. And in the last game, his team was ahead, but he had a double stun coming into the back line that would allow, it was on Caitlyn and the mid laner, and was able to just chunk both of them, destroy Caitlyn. His team went and took what they needed to win the game off of that fight. So those 2 are certainly plays of the game for him, and makes the other stuff worth it. This has been a really impressive performance out of him, and that's not to take anything away from Doughboy, who we've seen perform all weekend, but Yeet has had those clutch plays that have won them 2 games so far, and brings them just 1 away from the title.
I see it as Yeet being the inconsistent but can make the crazy play, save the game kind of thing. And then Doughboy has just been consistent.
Right.
He's had very good the stun bubbles on Echo. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the parallel convergence, I believe, unless I've been saying it wrong all day,
He had
which is possible.
a couple games where he stunned 2 or 3 people with it, and 1 team fights based off of that.
Right.
So he's been not as flashy, but definitely consistent throughout the whole tournament.
Agreed, and certainly helped get his team to this spot where they already locked up 2nd place, already going to take home some prizes here from Tokyo and Tulsa, not to mention getting to spend a weekend with friends at a fun convention. And their backs are against the wall, but they have tournament winning experience. They know what they're doing. They're not scared. These people have been in this position before in the finals and know what it takes. So after a near fight and near level 1 brawl last game, we get
very safe level 1
very
steer.
safe. Get some wards down. Both teams know that there's nothing there to be had.
And Zach has actually switched back from refillable potions back to the health pots, so we've regressed.
Fair enough, fair enough. To be fair, he did die to the red buff.
That's true.
Took your advice.
Needed that 3rd health
for
pot,
it.
yeah. Guess the joke's on me.
Yeah, that was huge that game because the first game went the other way. So look at that poke out there from Talia very early. Now, lots of farming, lots of ability for both teams in this bottom lane to knock people up, to get some, to have some displacement, disables, and big chunks of damage in this bottom lane. Ezreal, though, it's all about that poke, and Magic trying to trade back, but is taking a fair bit of poke already.
He's getting hit by a lot of the Qs. It's important to position behind the minions when you're running against an Ezreal, and he's just kind of off to the upper side of the lane, so it's easy for Ezreal to hit him with Qs.
And here they go. They're going in on him. Just barely misses that hook. Dredge line nearly connected there, and that might have been a big chunk of damage on the brawl in this top lane, though. Jack has to put up the wall.
Gets the W down late, so still gets hit by the Q damage.
So speaking of in the bottom lane, as we see both of the teams with taking some damage, this is something that I see sometimes, and it always confounds me. The supports with Relic Shield using it immediately and not using it after their ADC has taken some damage. And, it doesn't seem like a big deal, and you want to get your money, whatever, but it could be like a 50 to 100 HP difference, and that's pretty big in this early lanes. It's the difference between having to pop a biscuit or not.
It's generally important to use one so you have one on cooldown and it's coming back, you're utilizing the cooldown of it. But not to blow both right away. Lots of people just use them immediately. It does give you, your 17 gold, but your item's already on cooldown, you're already getting another stack back up. You should just save it for the HP and sustain in the lane.
Right. Absolutely. So 4 minutes in, we have the Farm Fest. We expected a slightest of leads to Team Lansings here. Zach, though, in position. Here it comes. He lands. He gets a knock up on Jack. Jack gets him into the wall. He's going to have to try to put up the wall here. He's running away. The red buff is ticking, though. He's able to speed on out. So the gank does not yield any results there. Meanwhile, Echo showed mid, but just goes back to farming the Raptors. So
it's actually surprising that Zach has already gotten a gank off and is still up 17 CS to 10 in that matchup.
Yeah, I think Echo maybe spent some time waiting. Maybe expected a gank in the mid lane and wanted to counter it. Maybe he showed mid, but either way, not able to get anything. And Zach pulling ahead early. And this could be big. That could get Ariel going here. You said it's, not a great matchup, so maybe they recognize that, send a little bit of pressure. Now he has a small HP advantage on Jack. Still down NCS a little, but look at that. Just trades very, very well with him, but has to keep the CS up as well. All right, Doughboys arrived in the bottom lane. The hook misses. That means that they're going to walk out as the dredge line went right past the cow and into the wall.
And Poppy's matchup against Aurelia is so good because Poppy has that Paragon of Demacia, the shield that pops up and stops dashes. But what we're seeing up here is every time Aurelia uses the dash, she connects, hits the damage, and then the ability comes up.
Right,
So
it hasn't been just like that right there. Gets it down and is able to keep that wave, push into the turret while trading profitably. But Poppy's up 10 CS in the matchup. Aurelia has not. She's focused on the harassment, but has missed out on the last hitting. And it doesn't matter how much you bully your lane if at the 10-15 minute mark you're still behind in gold.
If she's going to play that way, she's going to have to get kills to get an advantage.
Here we go. They're making a play here on Chris. We've seen some very nice survives by him thus far. Oh, good flash. Maybe he could have made it. What happens if they're in the wall when it comes up?
I imagine, given Riot Games, it would bug a couple times, and then he would either jump to one side or the other, and it'd be RNG based.
Yeah, he might have been able to make it out there, but chooses to burn the flash instead. But that did cost something from Landsnake as they sent both bottom laners up there.
And that Slee ult is a pretty long cooldown. It's like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I liked what I saw there from Chris. He immediately put the ball on himself and command dissonance for that small speed boost to run away, and that's one of the reasons he's been so safe. So we're near the 7-minute mark. Gold is dead even. Both teams tried a few things, and nothing is connected quite yet. But Poppy actually it's really going to be important for Ariel to pick up this wave as it crashes into the tower because she is falling behind.
It doesn't look like anyone's going to try and contest this wave. No one's going to dive or try and stop her from farming it. So she should be safe to pick that up.
Yeah, absolutely. And this will probably get her another 7 or 8 and make it look a little better. All right, so farming it out as we go.
Ezreal's got a 10 CS advantage.
All right,
now.
dredge line landed. Shafty gets hurt. Nice shot there by Draven. Steps up, isn't scared, trades back a little bit of damage. Shafty can heal up some of that, and once he hits 6, he can turn on the Unbreakable Will. So if somebody in the lane's taking damage, that's who you want it to be.
But Alistar has the Triumphant Roar, so he's just going to be able to keep sustaining through the lane. Keep healing. The trades aren't that bad. As long as it's not an all-in, he's fine. He can just sustain it out pretty quickly.
Now Pink's going down in the middle as we see Orianna picking up the blue buff from Zach, who still has that CS lead over Echo. Though, we talk about that, but he's also spending money on those potions, which is a drain on him as the game goes on. And Shafty misses the combo there and gets dredge line, and Draven's not even with him. Meanwhile, the King on the top lets his stun off on level 7. Riven flashes away, gets a little bit of damage back, and gets the first blood even, and the second blood. Oh, Jack survives. The teleport's coming in. He gets the dash for the double kill. Irelia picks it up. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, fights everywhere. Shafty goes down. Tall X Sky, though, trades back. Will Magic finish it off? Wow, he's going to go down. Yeet flies in, not able to take the aggro, though, so it's a 2 for 2 in the bottom lane, but a 3 for 2 overall. Let's step back and watch that. All right, let's start up here on the top. See, Echo is on his way up. This was a very, very nice job by Mastery 7 Riven on Aurelia. You see, trying to get them damage down. Look at the deficit she's starting this with. Here comes Echo.
Which can actually be a bonus with the E.
Right.
If you're lower health, it does a stun instead of a slow.
Right. Gets stunned, and it just looks like she's dead to rights right there, but somehow they just don't finish it off. Looks like the damage went down on some minions. Not enough, though, and spams the emote as he picks it up. Meanwhile, we see the bottom. It was a nice job there by Shafty. Though he did go down early, they were able to flash in, pop the adoration on Draven, and then, though he went down in the end, comes out thanks to the League of Draven passive.
Yeah, and getting that adoration, all those stacks off is great for Draven. It's going to give him so much extra gold.
Absolutely. And that's why we see now it's just like that 1,000 gold lead for 4.5 white guys is they lead the game 4-2, 10 minutes, combo win. That's a lot of damage on Ezreal. Force it just arcane shift away. Nautilus does what he can on the back end. The ultimate misses, and they're just now getting zoned officially.
Yep. They've made up that 10 CS disadvantage they had earlier in the lane. It's now only 1.
Right, absolutely. And 0-1 to Ezreal, 1-1-1 Draven. Almost certainly up money in there, as you can see. 400. That's a difference of one of these Doran's Blade he's picked up.
And Orianna, when Talia ulted bottom to try and clean up those kills and didn't get anything, Orianna was able to take a 15 CS advantage in that lane as well. So.
Absolutely. Compounding advantages, and of course that's not even touching on, nice wall there by Jack to keep Zach from landing on him. Now another combo, and this one's on Nautilus. Takes a big chunk of damage, does not get the shield up in time to prevent that first auto from Draven. Takes a big chunk.
And that was the first time Poppy's done that to Zach, but that's going to be huge throughout the game and later in team fights. If he can stop Zach from landing onto his carries later in the game, it'll be game-changing.
Absolutely. He just says no to everything Zach wants to do. He needs to be on top of you. If he's not able to do that, we will be able to see Ezreal just continue to put down the damage. Now, the issue for them is that they have a poke-focused ADC in Ezreal, and yet have a team that is much more all-in than you necessarily want. You know, Echo and Nautilus are not champions who are going to sit back and allow you to poke.
Yeah. Generally, when you go for those poke champions, you want multiples to where you can poke the other team out enough that you can force objectives, force them away from things, make them take bad fights.
Now here we go, fighting the bottom. Lots of damage. Shafty gets a combo, but it's only onto Nautilus. Teleport coming in, they immediately turn tail and run. Exhaust onto Ezreal so that they can make it. Shafty gets knocked into the wall, though. He's going to go down to the True Shot barrage. Here comes Zach. Will they be able to get a knock-up? Will they get Draven? No, they back on out. Draven with not a lot of HP or mana, forced to back away. It's a kill picked up. Meanwhile, Echo Voice still getting just bullied by Orianna, and she finishes it off. Chris can't miss again, showing why he is just dominating this finals. Up 15 CS and now up a kill.
He's been playing so well this entire series.
Yeah. His Orianna was just absolutely on point last game. We saw one whiffed ultimate from him, but outside of that, it was flawless, and that was pretty good. We see a couple missed CS there, though. Zach is around to pick up the remnants of that.
Yep.
So 13 minutes in, 5-3, 1,500 gold lead for Team 4.5 White Guys, who find themselves just one game away from claiming the title of champions here at League of Legends at Tokyo and Tulsa.
And while Poppy did get that one assist bottom lane for the TP, it also wound up costing him his 10 CS lead. It's actually 20 behind now.
Yeah, absolutely. And things just turned after that failed tower dive on the top lane. You wanted them to not be scared, and they went for the play. And if it had worked out, it could have snowballed Poppy, but it didn't. Yep. And instead, Aurelia just finishes the Triforce and heads on back out to lane as his team angles for the first dragon of the game. But there could be a contest here. They back up from it. Parallel Convergence comes down. Now all of a sudden it's here. Orianna trying to poke it out. Echoes on the dragon. Looks to be uncontested. And it's the blue seal. So Land Snakes get something back there after 13 minutes that have not gone their way.
That was a really well placed Talia ult.
Yeah.
blocking off the entire team. They could have forced a fight off of that, but then
Yeah, I think they just take the win there. They back up. Their breakpoint. So we haven't seen, and we've touched on this earlier, but we've not seen this. We saw one teleport come in from Poppy that just caused the other team to turn and run. But now he's just getting jumped on by Irelia. But they have not used that teleport advantage to do anything but just one time force out 4.5 white guys. So here comes the voice. Has to flash the Talia spikes. So flash down on Irelia if they choose to return to it. Meanwhile, though, Orianna taking advantage of another failed roam and is working on that tower in the mid lane.
And Talia actually went up there and W'd herself, shot it down at her feet, so a little mistake there, not a big deal.
All right, Jack, looking a little strong with those walls. That one was on point there. But this mid turret is taking damage. Not a turret taken in the game yet. But the pressure, not to mention the kills and the gold, is squarely in the hands of 4.5 white guys right now. All right, this time Riven jumps into the circle. Don't know if she wants that deep into the minion wave, but the fight continues. Jack is starting to exert a little, I won't say dominance, but a little pressure up there on Mastery 7 Riven, who returned with a Triforce and yet has not been able to bully away the Poppy.
It's sometimes more difficult to win lanes when with a Triforce champion when the other player builds armor, because Triforce doesn't really actually give you any AD.
Right.
So the damage reduction from armor is so much more impactful.
Here we go. Shafty went for the flash. Missed the knock-up, though. Now parallel convergence goes down. Chris is in trouble. Whiffs the ultimate as the leap comes in. This is looking bad news for them right now. He's trying to get to Ezreal. Almost kills him, but it goes down himself. Somehow Nautilus is in the backline, though, and Draven's able to pop some more adoration stacks. Here comes Echo Voice. Shafty's in trouble. Draven needs to leave. I don't know if he's going to make this. Echo gets a slowdown. He has to try to do damage. Gets the knock up, though, from Zach. Runs away. The final shot from Ezreal. Arcane shifting in. Double kill for Ezreal. The no teleport. They went so deep and did not have a teleport to get down there. And even though Jack wasn't there,
this is the cost of winning the lane with the Ignite.
They were just able to dive so far. Now this is going to be rough here. He just gets popped into bubbles. The minions are still there. Throws his life away for very little right there. Might save the turret, but he might not.
It should still go down.
Yeah, turret still falls. Zach goes down for nothing. Just like that, we're back to a dead even game. 17 minutes in as a very nice executed dive there by the Land Snakes, and then a couple just small misplays. Orianna tried to roam, got caught in the river by Echo with thanks to the Echo Dash, with the command Shockwave, didn't have flash to get out of there, and that was the end of that fight. Now,
it's very punishing if you miss your abilities on Orianna. They have long cooldowns. You have to reposition the ball, so it can really set you far back if you miss that. Ezreal did just finish his power spike. He has the gauntlet and Muramana, so
very difficult to get away from him now at this point. So 3-1-4. Tall like Sky on Ezreal. Land Snakes not going quietly. It looked like things were not in their favor there for a while, but that play just completely swung things. Swings them right back to even on gold. Dragon in 90 seconds, and you can see the dance as they start to worry about vision.
And now they're finally starting to try and make proactive plays, get their picks. Their last few plays have been counter ganks.
Right, and here we go. This is bad news for somebody. Forces a flash by Zach, and that won't be up for the dragon fight. Yeah, it is absolutely the Land Snakes who are grouping up, who are making those plays and dictating the pace of the game right now.
And this has been so important in the Plat-Capped tournament, of just people who feel like they're ahead. They want to make the plays and they want to try and go for the picks. And it's been what's winning people the games.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't tell them they're down a couple hundred gold. They think they're in the lead. They're up a kill. They're even on towers. They're up a dragon, and they have the momentum right now, despite being down 2 games to 1. So they send Draven and Hosler up to the top. Dragon spawns in 30 seconds. Looks like they're going to get at least 1 recall in. Both teams have vision down near the pit. This is going to be all about who gets a catch, but so far, Zach, it's been banned out from him all game. It's been nice in a few situations, but has not yet, I would say, been incredibly impactful.
Yeah, the Poppy counter with the W has been really punishing a lot of his gank attempts.
Right, and we haven't seen very many attempts on the mid lane, and everything done in the bottom lane has been counter ganks. So Echo has had a much larger impact, sitting at 1-1-3 as Doughboy. So the dragon spawns. It's started up by the land snakes. They back off of it, but Doughboy's taking a lot of damage. Now gets comboed up by Shafty. This is bad news. The ball's arrived. It goes down. Zach picks it up. Now it is 4.5 white guys on the dragon, but they just back off of it. They don't want it. They just watch it kill a member of Land Snake. All right, they re-engage. They pull it out. Will they get it? The True Shot Barrage isn't enough. Zach picks it up.
And that was an issue of a miscommunication. Their team was split. They had people running bottom, people running back mid to push the lane, and only their jungler still hitting the dragon.
Yeah, that was very poor. They took a lot of damage. It almost felt like whoever starts it up was going to lose, and that's exactly what happened. And then they do the worst thing, which is stand around, use more than one person, try to steal, don't get any pressure in on the other lanes. Might have had an opportunity to push something in the middle, but misstep there from them. The dredge line misses, but they do have some pressure to the lane snakes here on this middle turret with the Shafty Chris defense, and Jack is coming around. The wall goes down by Talia. Flash over the wall by Chris. Now all of a sudden it's safe instead of dangerous, and Zach gets hit by the command shockwave. Parallel Convergence comes down though, but Doughboy has to run away as
Poppy
the Draven ult comes in. Yeah, Poppy knocking away Zach. The tower stands, so do all the players. Down some spells.
Everyone stands though.
Yeah. Static Shiv completed on Draven, along with an IE.
Yep. And Ezreal still has not gotten. Let's see, can we tell how many he has?
Yeah, click on him.
Is there a way to check his items for see how many stacks he has on?
Here you go. Yeah, he said
Okay,
it's
so he's
700.
really close to that. Yeah.
700 out of 750 on that Manamune, and that's going to be very powerful when he does hit that spike here in just a few short seconds.
And then Alistar actually went Mercury treads.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Your ult already clears off any disables on you, but I guess he just feels like he's getting, you know, stunned more than his ult can help.
Well,
so.
we do know that they want to. He usually doesn't want to pop the ult till he's a little lower, but they do want to be able to engage these fights because we talked about Ezreal being a poke champion. If you're 4.5 white guys, you want to be able to pick those fights immediately, and the resistance and the getting the reduce the tenacity off of the boots is very good at allowing them to get up there and engage the fight and be sticky onto those champions they need to take down.
Yep.
Here we go. Here comes a jump. Nope. Cancels it off. They get some pressure down the middle.
Some damage on this.
Yeah, they might be able to finish it. One more shot will do it. They do pick it up. But now here comes the re-engage. Ezreal gets a lot of damage. The depth charge lands. This is bad news. A nice knock-up by Zach, but all his damage dealers are dead. Draven and Orianna are down. This is going to be a bloodbath right here. Can they get anything back? Shafty turns on the ultimate. The spikes take him. Yeet tries to run away. He won't be able to. They get the turret, but they do it at the cost of 4 of their lives.
Yep, and that entire play was brought up by the Iceborne Gauntlet hitting the Draven, getting him slow enough for the hook.
Yeah, the dredge line landed, and that was it. Now, what do they want here? Baron was an option 23 minutes into the game. They don't do it. They push up on the middle, but Irelia is pushing on the bottom. I think it was a free Baron if they wanted it. Instead, we try for the middle turret. How low. Can they get it with Draven and Orianna on their way up? Looks like they're going to finish it off here. Now, are they the ones who are going to get caught? It just now goes down. It looks like the chase isn't there, but they're hurt. They haven't spent their money.
Yep.
Now, all of a sudden, Baron is open for the other team. Will either team pull the trigger on such an aggressive play, or will they just continue to back? Because that was a great fight for Lansings. It pulls the gold even again, but it has not yet been spent as they still are forced to posture around the mid lane here.
And oftentimes the Barons seem so... It's so suicidal if the other team comes that the other team doesn't even consider it an option.
Right.
So you can just sneak it through, sometimes get it completely for free when 5 people are up.
Right. Yeah, I mean, absolutely there. You know that they're hurt. You know they all want to recall. You, at the very least, can clear out the vision, threaten him, maybe get a trap down. You have Zach to jump out of a bush. Instead, they just go pick up the buffs, push out the farm a little bit. And, you know, it's not wrong, but it is maybe a missed opportunity there. So now they're going to have to make something happen as Mastery 7 Riven goes in on Jack, but he's doing no damage and just forced to run away.
He doesn't
All right, here's a
have...
combo onto Echo, but that's not what they want. Now we're dancing around Baron, and neither team has a monopoly on vision.
Yeah, they've focused a lot of their vision into their own jungles, trying to prevent invades. They have a lot of pink wards centered around the entrances of their own jungler.
Right.
So...
Parallel convergence just missed there for Echo. That might have started the fight off. Now we see Zach trying to flank. Ariel is not here. Split pushing for days and not yet been involved in one of these team fights. Poppy's over there as well, but remember, Poppy could teleport. Here comes the fight. The Shockwave gets one. Now Zach knocks him off. Telelia has split up the team, trying to go, but it's Orianna who goes on first, and they're forced to run. Dredgeline lands on Yeet. He's going to ultimate in. Might go down. Draven's doing some damage, but not enough. He falls to Ezreal. Now Echo picks up another. Irelia has arrived, but it's going to be too late.
The lack of teleport is just killing Aurelia this game.
Yes, absolutely. And now the chrono break from Echo.
Here comes the Poppy ult.
He's going to walk it out, and then goes the Poppy ult. This will be the dragon for Lansings. Yeah, the Irelia pick has just done nothing. She's 2-0, but she's not able to do anything. And,
Those
you know,
2 kills top lane. It just doesn't have an effect on the game.
Yeah, and Poppy wasn't there, but there's just not enough damage yet. Draven, he had some shots there. It just wasn't enough, as there's so much coming in at his team. They need another source of damage, is somebody who can dive into that back line, because Draven's sitting there without a penetration item, forced to wail on the tanks because no one can get to the back. So the top laners haven't been involved in that. Has not benefited 4.5 white boys, who were ahead and have now fallen by themselves almost 1,500 gold behind and down 2 dragons to 1. Ezreal, the Ezreal
finished the Muramana. He almost has his Blade of the Ruin King finished.
Tall like Sky coming up huge here with their backs against the wall. 6-2-7 on Ezreal. We thought maybe it was just a counter pick so he could get away from Zach. Well, maybe it's just a great pick overall, because he has been on point in this game. Once again, we see Zach just unable to do anything, and now we see Draven caught. He's in a lot of trouble. He's trying to trade back on Doughboy. He's doing a lot of damage. His team has arrived. We might have a fight here. Will this be a catch? Irelia coming in from the left. There they go. They've caught Doughboy. They've slowed him down. He's able to walk out. Draven ult comes in, doesn't finish him off, but this is a good opportunity. The ultimate knocks 2 away from Poppy, and now Shafty is in trouble on the wall. Dredgeline misses, trying to walk out, turns on the Unbreakable Will. Parallel convergence goes right in the middle of the entire team, and everyone goes down. That was huge. Orianna did not even get an opportunity, as that parallel convergence just deleted her off of the map. Now the chase down. Yeet is the next to fall. I think we might be headed for a game 5 here, as Land Snakes walk up the middle lane with a creep wave.
This Poppy pick has just been so strong, stopping all the Zac. Everything the Zac wants to do, everything the Aurelia wants to do. Even Alistar can't dash in on it. Poppy's just been a great pick for this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Just knocked them straight out of that fight, and then they have them choked onto the ramp, and that meant that the parallel convergence just absolutely destroyed any hope of 4.5 white guys winning that fight. Oriana did not even get a chance to shockwave.
And now all the vision around Baron is controlled by Snake.
Oh, they're going to start it, though, but here comes the contest. This could be huge.
Risky.
Yeah, they realize that they walk out. Now Riven, though, gets stretched line. Draven gets a little bit. Look at that. Zoned again by the parallel convergence. True Shot Barrage misses. They can't re-engage, but now they could. Both teams, they're standing right on a ward there in that bush. Both teams with their eyes on that Baron. There's a lot of unspent money on the side of Land Snakes. They recall on out now. The vision getting cleared away by 4.5 white guys. They are behind, but they have position, and they go ahead and start it up right here. Oriana lands someone, but that Baron is just wrecking the team. It wasn't on the tank. Now all of a sudden they have their carries at 75%. Just took free damage there. Walled off by Talia. I imagine she'll be taking her way up here on this one. No, not yet.
But look at the bot wave. I think they're happy to stall here.
Yeah.
As long as they can keep that giant wave bottom taking
absolutely.
these towers.
Good call. This might be able to finish it off as they wail on it now. The fight breaks out on top. Parallel convergence comes in. Shafty's caught. It is Draven who is knocked away. All the damage gone right now. Depth charge comes in. It hits Oriana, but she has a chance. The shockwave is not there. She used it already as they walked out, and it's Alistair who goes down. And while, yes, they're going to get the turret on the bottom, maybe.
Oh,
just kidding.
That's unlucky.
They actually get nothing from it as it survives with 16 hit points. But this is going to be all about the Baron. Which team gets it? Which team? Will there be a throw? Will there be a steal? That's all eyes on that.
And Landsnake has been playing these fights so well. They allow the Alistar Zac to jump in. Poppy immediately hammers away the carry so they have no damage. And then they can just sit there and free hit the tanks until they're dead because they don't have a backline to protect.
Right. It doesn't matter how tanky you are as Alistair if you don't have anyone to tank for. So, Dragon up in a minute as well, and we are building towards that Elder Dragon, which will be another point of contest for both teams. And Baron is still over there. Imagine we're going to see some pretty wild fight around one of these two pits before this thing's said and done.
Yep.
Both teams just looking for that catch that can swing the game. If you're Land Snakes, it will win the game for you if you get the right catch. You just walk right up with your super minions in the middle.
And they have that Dredge Slant on Nautilus, the Parallel Convergence on Echo. They have a lot of pick potential with this comp as well. So once they start to get this gold advantage, they don't have to play so defensively. They can just run the other team over.
Right, and it is now a 4,000 gold advantage. Dragon spawns in 30 seconds. Lots of blue vision around Baron. Just one red ward over there. Will they play chicken? Will one team go for Dragon and one go for Baron? Will they fight over it?
And Aurelia is clearing that bot wave. Again, she does not have TP, so she's in the bot lane as long as she's clearing minions down there. She can't come to the Baron fight.
Yeah, they've tried to get the split push going through. It hasn't worked. Now the Dragon is live. It has spawned. Both teams actually just scared of going to the Dragon and losing the Baron, so instead we see them in the middle, not sure where they want to go.
Alistar did just finish the Zeke's, paired it with Draven, so that will give him 100% crit chance once that item goes off. Can be huge if it winds up being timed right in the fights. It's kind of hard to control when it goes off sometimes, but it can be very strong if you get it off in the middle of a team fight.
Alright, Dragon is live, Baron is live, both teams dancing around as we hit the 33-minute mark. It's a 4,000 gold lead for Team Land Snake. That's not that much at this point of the game, but they have their backs against the wall, and they are the ones going to start up the Dragon, and they're just going to take it for free. Third Dragon of the game for them. Makes that Elder Dragon when it spawns huge as an objective.
And while that Zeke's is great to have, it does leave their team without a locket. It's not going to give that bonus MR, and they are against two kind of 2.5 AP champions with the Nautilus.
Right.
So that's a lot of extra damage you're going to be taking to have that Zeke's.
All right, the inhibitor has respawned in the middle lane. Walking around, looking to create a pick here. They've arrived for the inhibitor. Ariel not here yet, but oh no, Shafty has been caught. Puts on the unbreakable will, but still forced to flash away. Gets absolutely nothing out of this. Zach is right from the back line. Has the knock up, and here comes Poppy. Who will Poppy hit? Poppy hits a cannon away. That's not what they wanted now. Draven throws an ultimate, gets a lot of damage. Poppy picks up the first one on Shafty. That's a nice shockwave. Zach is in trouble. Forced to flash away. Ignite burning. Ezreal uses True Shot Barrage. Takes another parallel convergence. Gets the slow in on Draven. And at the end of the day, it is a 1-for-1. 2-for-1 rather, as Mastery 7 Riven fell, and so too will the inhibitor.
Yep, they were not able to get back to any of the carries. The Zach ulted the Echo and Nautilus forward, so they weren't really able to. He did split up the team fight, but he hit the carries away from his team there.
Yeah, and that was, I felt like a best case scenario for them too. Poppy did not knock anyone out of the fight, and they still went down 2-for-1. And because of that, they lose the inhibitor again. They lose another turret. 5,000 gold lead. Baron's still on the board, and that will surely become the focus here if you are Land Snake.
Yep. That is the next logical objective to go to. You just want to take the vision, force them to face check into you, get a couple of picks, and then take the Baron.
Yeah, that fight was wild. I want to watch a replay of it, but I don't know if we're even going to get an opportunity. Let's, yeah, the pings are going down. We'll hold off on it for now. Don't want to miss this Baron fight as it comes up. Pushing out the middle lane, our team 4.5 white guys have to keep those supers from getting into their base.
Orianna may be
Orianna
caught
be
here.
in trouble. She gets slowed, puts up the shield, puts down the shockwave, but falls down. That is trouble right there. We talked about a pick maybe ending the game. That'll do it. Now the team is split up. Yeet gets knocked into the wall. Irelia as well. Both get knocked up by Poppy. This collapse is imminent. Irelia flashes away, but then walks back in. Depth charge goes down. She gets popped up in the air. The dredge line lands as well. The whole team piles onto Irelia, and she survives for a pretty long time, but not long enough. She goes down. Now,
Not getting away from a double Iceborne Gauntlet.
yeah, 2 members down. Irelia for another 45 seconds. What can they do with this? Echo is onto Shafty. Shafty has the ult available. Yeet comes in. Another turret has gone down. That bottom turret finally goes down, but so does Shafty. Now a great dredge line. That finishes Draven. That should be the game. The ADC is down 3 dead. It started with the pick on Chris. Chris is back up, but his team is not. He is slowed. He's trying to run out here.
We should
Flashes
see
the
Poppy
wall.
TPing in here, I would imagine. He's just...
Here it
okay,
comes.
there
Yeah,
it goes.
uses it, takes your strategy here, protects the minion from the turrets. Chris versus the world, this isn't going to do it. Yeet falls down, the first turret falls, the second turret falls, and we're headed to a game 5, a decider for everything here as the Nexus does fall. Land Snake backs against the wall, takes it down. We have one more between them and 4.5 white guys to decide the championship here at Tokyo and Tulsa.
That Poppy pick was so strong in that game.
Was just completely just nullified the Zac that they'd been banning. I don't know if the plan was to ban it, bait them into it, and then counter it, but that is certainly what worked. So stick with us. We'll be back with one more for all the marbles here in a few minutes. Hey everybody, welcome back, Tokyo and Tulsa. Sunday here, we're at the tail end of a great event. It's been an awesome convention, a lot of people in and out, a lot of really cool things going on in the convention hall. Here in our neck of the woods, here in the game room, we have the finals of our League of Legends Plat-Capped Championship, and it has been a great one so far. We have 2 teams, Land Snake and 4.5 white guys who've given it everything they've got. We've had incredible games back and forth, and it all comes down to this.
Definitely, and we saw some really great games from each team, so this is going to be the deciding factor
Yeah, this
here.
is huge. This is game 5 of the best of 5 for all the marbles, all the money, all the glory, and the title. And we don't have a trophy, so not for the trophy.
They
but
get medals, though.
for the medals.
But this is for first and second place of our Plat-Capped tournament.
Right, so this has been great. Both teams here, we had nearly a dozen teams out for the Plat-Capped. We had a handful of teams for the Uncapped tournament. We watched Team Unicorn take that down yesterday, and now this is the final game of the weekend, and we win all the way to the end here. So this is going to be good. I'm excited. Let's talk about what we have.
Definitely.
Echo has been the huge power pick. Both teams fighting over it, and here in the decider, it will be 4.5 white guys who get it, and they do first pick it after it's not banned out, and that could be huge. We've seen it swing several games for both teams at this point.
I am actually surprised the Echo wasn't banned because Echo on both teams has been such a deciding factor, and also surprised to not see the Oriana banned.
Right, yeah, Oriana was great 2 games ago for 4.5 white guys, and I agree. If you're on the red side there, I understand their bans, but Echo has been the power pick between both. You know they're going to first pick it, especially when you're coming in with Sejuani and Severe, which have not been, Sivir and Sejuani, neither of those have been contested picks at all in this series, so you can get those at any time. So if you don't have something you feel like you're really trading in power there by giving up Echo, there's no reason to give them Echo. But
Right.
maybe they, either way, this is what they choose to roll with. Sejuani's not a bad counter. It's hard CC of its own now. Going back to the Draven here for Magic, he's been on, I think, 4 of the 5 games of this series. Alistair has been very strong on Shafty, who's played it, I believe, every game, and it's been great for him. So a lot of that playmaking ability, the ability to parallel convergence people with Echo and then knock him up in the air with Alistar.
For sure.
Meanwhile, on the other side, will they go back to this Nautilus? We saw it last game for the first time, and it was very good for them. It's just a giant front line. It was very strong at keeping Zac away from them. It was very good at protecting the ADC, and this is a team comp, if they do choose to lock this in, along with Sejuani, that can just absolutely run into you, and Oriana does exactly that. Turn on the ultimate with Sivir, run in with the team, depth charge somebody, command shockwave the team, freeze them. That is quite the wombo that here in the decider the Land Snakes have decided to run with. Now, how do you counter that?
How would you counter that? So they have such a strong front line right now.
Right.
Definitely going to protect Sivir and Oriana the best they can. So
Yeah, I think
Alistar's going to have to get in there, following up with Echo.
Right, I think they need to be able to get to the back line. They need a strong split pushing threat, and we've seen it once when they put Mastery 7 Ribbon on Darius. I would say that was his most successful split pushing game. Nivea's an interesting one if that's what they choose to go with here. Has the ability to do AoE damage, slow the team, and there's Gnar. This is 2 team fight teams. This is the way we go here. Anivia standing in the back, freeze, put out the AoE damage, which is not a bad answer, and that's what they choose to do. Wombo on both sides, of course. Mega Gnar wants to Gnar teams into the wall, into the knock-up, into the parallel convergence, and Anivia puts out quite a bit of damage when she's protected. So this is an interesting lineup here. Game 5 of the best of 5. We see 2 champions that have not made an appearance in the series yet.
I think Gnar is going to be a game changer for them.
Certainly could be. Meanwhile, we see Jack Loves Lamp go back to Poppy, which was just absolutely incredible for him last game. Zac had been getting banned the first 3 games. Game 4, they don't ban Zac. It's his first pick. It seems like this is going to be the power pick. They come in with a Poppy counter, which is able to put up the wall, keep Zac out. And then the fights were just changed over and over by Poppy hammering out 1 or sometimes even 2 threats from the team and leaving the tanks there just to die. And they were just absolutely able to run away with it as a result of that. Now, Oriana puts the ball onto Sejuani. They dive on into the team. The fights can be picked whenever the Land Snakes want it.
I definitely like the double teleport over here on the red team. They're definitely looking to make plays. You know, they have three really tanky champs
Right.
on their team right now.
Right, it's very interesting too because we've seen actually the full gamut here. We've had one teleport in the game, we've had 4 teleports in the game, and now here in the decider we have 3 with Oriana and Jack both taking it. And this time we do see it on Nara. Mastery 7 Rin has played without it in 3 of the 4 games coming into this. Does pick it up, and we see Ghost on Anivia which is going to be pretty important to pop when you see that Sivir roll come.
Right.
And they get on the hunt coming up for you.
I definitely like their red team's bot lane comp. I love Sivir. I love her spell shield. She's such an effective AD carry, especially with Nautilus as her support. You know, he's just going to dive right in there and protect her and eat up the damage for her.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at chat here, being told that Chris knows how to play Anivia well and knows how to outplay Oriana. So it seems like this was something that he's had in the back pocket, and we'll see how it works out for him here. It's going to be a very interesting lane in the middle. I mean, I'm sure it'll just be a bunch of farming, but Anivia is somewhat gankable, and they do have that gank pressure both from the bottom lane with Nautilus and out of the jungle as well.
Definitely. I think we're going to see both teams sticking to their basics. We're going to have a lot of farm early game. Maybe not as much ganking, at least pre-level 3. So,
right, agreed, absolutely. So it's we'll see where things head from there, but all the pressure's on. And one of the things Jared in the booth with me last round was speaking about was playing to win and not playing to not lose. And
exactly.
we saw that happening from the Land Snakes. They made the aggressive plays when they needed to make them. They weren't scared to do that, and it worked out very well for them.
Right. And if 4.5 white guys want to win this game, I would definitely have Shafty focus on the wards more, trying not to get caught out so much. He got caught in a few bad places last game, and I think that put his team behind a little.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to get into this one. We've had 4 incredible games, a lot of great games this weekend, a lot of teams out here having fun. So I'm looking forward to the watching the final one here. I'm sure believe it will live up to the hype.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm so proud of both of these teams, really. They've been playing well all weekend, and this is a great matchup here.
Yeah. Okay, so looking at that double teleport, we've seen in the first game really of this series, we saw some incredible teleports from both teams. After that, they've been a little more hit or miss, and we've seen teams punished a couple times for not having it at all.
Right.
So we're going to see, how they use these, but with the double teleport available to Land Snakes, it could be very, very strong. And I want to see if on the other side, if 4.5 white guys have figured out how to play around the Poppy, because despite getting first blood or at least an early kill on the Poppy and being ahead in that game, Iruya had no impact,
right,
and Poppy had quite a bit of impact, splitting up those team fights along with Italia.
I was really surprised by that, actually. At least all the Raylias I played against, they've always been such a game changer,
right,
and she just kind of fell off.
Yeah, I mean, she wasn't able to stick to Poppy because of that wall, and as a result, the split push threat was just nullified, and then I don't even think they ever got a real team fight with her involved in it. And considering she was 2-0-0 at one point, they had a lot of money sunk into her that was just never present in the team fights. All right, so we're going to load on into this one. Looks like everyone is now in, so here we go. This is it. Will we see the level 1? We've seen a few different level 1 strategies, all from the both from the invade plan as well as just the plan of getting down vision. But now here we're going to have a pause as the teams try to get going, work through our issues. Here we've had a few technical issues this weekend, as you'd always expect, but for the most part, tournament's been run very well with very few problems here at Tokyo and Tulsa, and it does look like this is fixed. We are officially into the game, and you have 5 members of Team Lansake walking out together, and 4 members on the other side. So could have a collision course here in the middle.
I don't think Anivia has spotted them yet. They're able to make it to the mid lane bush.
Okay, so here we go. The vision comes down. That's it. Looks like both sides just going to stay safe on this one. Yeah, these games today have been characterized by slow starts, and not in a bad way. Both teams playing safe. Some nice outplays on the few attempted ganks. We even saw a double kill for Ariel last game, as Master Race 7 Ribbon was able to pick up that outplay under the turret. And you know what? Credit to Lansanks after that happened. Just buckle down. Don't go on tilt, which is very easy to do when you're one game away from elimination.
Definitely.
And you have something like that happen. But they fought back and now certainly said they have the momentum here in this game. Game 1 went to 4.5 white guys. Game 2 was just a stomp that went to Lansanks. Game 3 back to 4.5 white guys in a close one, and an extremely close one for most of the game. And our last one was won by the Lansanks, sending us into the final here.
Right. I think game 2 may have been a little bit of a fluke. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Something just went incredibly wrong.
Yeah, it was just it was a team comp that wanted to dive against a team comp that was very good at peeling. And you know, when your only play is to try to dive and it's not working, it's going to get out of hand pretty quickly.
Right.
So this game, though, both teams just with a little different team compositions here. Nothing, you know, really given from either team. You know, both teams can play defense, but we do know that Lansanks in particular can play offense, and they're playing some right now. Shafty forced to burn the flash. Magic gets locked up by the Nautilus passive. This is not a good start for them as they take a bunch of damage here at level 2.
Gosh, yeah, you don't want to lose that flash this early.
Right. Yeah, the staggering blow by Nautilus allowed them to not just make Shafty burn his flash, but get a lot of damage down on Magic as well. Now, they should be able to sustain decently between Alistair's Relic Shield and his heal, but still, it's going to be the early advantage, at least, going the way of Lansanks down there in the bottom.
Right.
Now, Draven has not a lot of protection this game. If they don't have Meganar, they're actually not very tanky, so when that depth charge goes down on either Draven or Anivia, they don't have just a hyper amount of walls in front of them. They have one cow, and that's great, but that's simply one person.
Right,
So,
I definitely expect Echo to have to get strong. He's going to have to be the playmaker for his team here.
yes, that is completely his forte, is to make plays, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't.
Right.
But he's had a couple great ones so far today, as he is on his quest here to beat Lansank and win his first tournament after a year and a half floating through different teams, trying to take down tournaments, multiple second place finishes. Will he be able to break through here?
Right. And I think Landsnake, they're fairly happy with their team roster right now. Everyone seems to be working with good energy and syncing well.
Yeah, and that's the difference, too, as we see this fight breakout actually going down. Draven getting a bunch of damage. Sivert tries to turn. Exhaust goes down on Magic. Now Sivert trying to get back in it, but now they focus the damage onto Nautilus, and they do force him off there, as the sustain of Shafty allows Draven and Alistair to get back in there on Sivert and Nautilus. But yeah, Lansank, of course, if we talked about, it's an organization with multiple teams here in the city. Here comes our first gank, though. They even get the stun off, and a good voice has to flash away. Will it be enough? One more auto doesn't take him down. They didn't have another tumble, but Yeet AF gets the first one. Alistair tries to combo a push, I guess. Doesn't work. But yeah, you can see the camaraderie just not only in between games, but in game as well. Between the members of Lansank, they have experience of this. They know what they're doing. Backs against the wall, down 2-1 in game 4. They came out not scared.
Right.
Knew exactly what they needed to do. Picked up the win, and now get themselves into the decider here. And they even have the small golden lead
here at the beginning by virtue of just some small farm differential.
Right, and like I was saying earlier, that gank by Echo just now, nearly missing the kill on Oriana. He's got to be able to do that. He's going to have to get in the lanes, and he's going to have to help out the rest of his team here because, like you said, they're not going to be very tanky in the late game.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And he burned the flash. That's step one. Get rid of the flash of Oriana now. The important thing for him is the return there. Oriana's burning her teleport to get back to the middle lane.
Sums down mid.
Yeah. Sejuani making her way to the bottom. Has not shown yet. Trying to hit level 6.
There's no
Here
ward
for
in
the
that
counter
river.
gank. Here it comes. Chums over the wall. Yeet is here as well. Gets only a slow off. They're splitting up damage. Do they want Nautilus? Forces the flash away. Now it's Doughboy trying to late teleport. Actually canceled by Gnar as Poppy knocks him away with a hammer, and nobody gets any kills out of that one.
That's crazy. Both junglers were thinking the same thing at the same
Yeah.
time because blue side, they did not have a ward in that river. That could have
Right.
been very bad for Draven.
Right, they were just there, ready. Oh, this is bad news for Jack. Force a flash away. He might go down anyways. The house misses by Mastery 7 Ribbon, but after a few tough games up in the top, he's exerting a little bit of dominance early in this one.
Right. Yeah, Poppy may have a little bit of struggle early game against Gnar, but I
Yeah.
expect her to come back.
Yeah. Here we go. Combo down onto Sivir. Pops the spell shield. Now throws out the boomerang. They're trading back. Shafty in a lot of trouble. The dredge line misses as he flashes away. Draven trying to get a trade back.
Right, but they're so low on mana, there was not much they could do there.
Right. Yeah, this is very interesting, though. Touching back on the top, this looks very similar to last game, where there it was Irelia bullying Poppy. Now it's Gnar bullying Poppy. But it doesn't manifest itself in the lead.
Right.
If you don't kill him, it doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
And he's up 2 CS now, but here we go. This lane, Shafty in trouble. Gets the summoner heal off as they try to trade back. The short stun on the magic, that was dangerously
That
close
was.
right there to being first blood.
Draven, no mana. Alistar, low mana.
Almost finished him off as he threaded the needle with that dredge line. Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, Poppy's actually up CS in the top lane, up 5
Right.
CS right now. She's going to take this way, be up further. And while they have enjoyed the pressure advantage up there, he's behind in gold.
Right.
That's not where you want to be. So we see this Dragon started up, knowing there were recalls coming in. Dragon gets started by the Land Snakes, who should be able to take this
They
one
should.
down.
Again, no wards by the blue team. They have no idea it's happening right
That's
now.
right. Echo could have tried to make a play on it. They certainly have some low mana, low HP champions right there. All right, so with that, it's a 700 gold lead for the Land Snakes, as well as that first dragon. And we've seen the dragons certainly play a role in several of these games. We had an Eternal Dragon spawn early in the first one, and haven't had one since. Games have ended before it's come on out, and you see just that it's a 2 miss CS just on that wave by Gnar, and it really just adds up every time. So now he's gonna go Mega, forces Jack back, but Jack just enjoying that CS advantage. 62
Right.
at 9 minutes. In the middle, pretty even as both champions farm it out. Well
Yeah.
on pace for that 70 to 80 at 10-minute mark that you look for.
Right, yeah. And once again, like, now that we're up in levels and now Poppy's up in that farm, she's not feeling that pressure like she was early game.
Right. Yeah, Gnar just, okay, Dredge Lines lanes on Shafty, though they immediately go in there. They knew they wanted Sivir to happen, but here's the exhaust on Magic, and he has to flash out. They hit 6. Here comes Sejuani. Shafty's gonna go down. It's Sivir who picks it up. Echoed voices here too. The shockwave misses. And if he is here, though, they might get one back on copy. Puts down the shield, but Magic picks it up. That's actually huge that he's able to pop those adoration stacks, and that's why that 800 gold lead only becomes a 300 gold lead, despite first blood going to Land Snakes.
That's going to help him out a lot because Sivir's up 10 CS, so
Yeah.
he needed to catch up a little bit. So that kill really helped Draven.
Yeah, that was very important for him down there.
despite, I mean, they didn't have the gank. They had both mid laners roaming, and they were the ones. But look at this. Jack and Mastery 7 Ribbon fighting. Yeet has arrived, and he gets it. You said it. He needs to help out his laners, and there he picks up a kill.
Yeah, easy kill for Echo there, and they're going to get a lot of health off this top tower.
They might be able to finish it. They might not, but either way, that's a big play. They gave up first blood, but they have the gold lead less than a minute later.
A lot of good trades back and forth so far.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Mastery 7 are forced to jump away, but they will finish off that turret. First one of the game down to 4.5 white guys, and it's 1,000 gold lead for them. The tug of war, the back and forth between these two that we've been watching all afternoon continues. Anivia is going, of course, for this long game build, has the catalyst, has the tier, going to be stacking. Orianna, meanwhile, also scales very well, as do both ADCs in this game. So, will Nautilus get a dredge? I know Draven's able to walk it out, but as we head into the late game, we've had some games where, you know, you say there's sort of a clock. This team's composition is unbeatable if it hits 30 minutes.
Right.
That's not the case here. This is going to come down to outplays, rotations, positioning. This is not a game that will be decided solely by team comp.
Right, I agree. It's going to be decided on who makes the least amount of mistakes here.
That's right. Absolutely right. And so despite that kill up top, though, Poppy's still sitting on that 10 CS lead against Snar. Here comes a combo, knocks up Bad Cop. The gank is here. Shouty puts on the Unbreakable Will, flashes immediately. Teleport coming in. Yeet has to flash out. I don't think he's going to make it. Depth charge on him. Oh, Magic is in trouble. He's going to go down right there as Kapu picks it up. Anivia has arrived. They're trying, but he's only getting the tanks, and they're forced to run. The lack of a teleport punished again as they can't match Orianna getting down there into that bottom lane. Anivia arrived, but it was too late.
Right. I think Shafty waited a few seconds too long to go in there. He could have maybe saved Draven.
Yeah, now look at this, though. Yeet trying to make a hero play. Gets the ultimate back off, doesn't finish it. Now they get the teleport in. Anivia going past a great wall right there.
Great
that
spell
might
shield.
allow him to take it off. Hopped over the wall by Gnar, and he will take down Tall X guy. Now Sejuani has arrived. They pick one back up. The fight just doesn't end, and another teleport coming in here. Oh, this is bad news. Yeet is in trouble. He goes down. Now Mastery 7 Riven goes down, and it swings right back as players come in from all over the map to brawl.
Man, this is insane. This is a very up and down, back and forth, push-pull, and I think it's going to be this way all
Yeah,
game.
let's take a replay on that one. That was pretty crazy. Okay, here we go. This is where it starts. That chrono break did so much damage to Sivir. And here comes the teleport in from Gnar. An insane wall by Chris gives Mastery 7 Rim the ability to jump over it. Now right here, they're running away, but here comes this teleport. They actually stayed. They wanted the CS, and that left them farther up than they wanted to be. Poppy hammer straight in the air allows them to take it down.
Definitely. That was a great spell shield by Sivir. She was able to survive a little bit longer, which made the other team chase after her, so that
Right.
teleport for the red team was even more effective.
Right, absolutely. And it took a little bit, but they were eventually punished for the lack of a teleport on the mid laner. But that, all in all, doesn't it change the course of this game all that much? Swings the gold lead back over a little bit to Lansangs, but at only 514 minutes in, that's fairly irrelevant. What will be relevant is vision control around this dragon that is about to spawn.
Definitely.
So we have Sejuani sneaking into the bush here in the bottom. But with the dragon, I'm not sure they're going to get Magic to walk up far enough. Certainly thinking about it, but the wave's pushing into him. And Sejuani does begin the recall.
Yeah, might be wasting her time down there.
Yeah, okay, so here we go. They knock him back. Anivia has arrived. Yeet AF is here as well. He might get this off. He gets the slow on Sivir, gets the damage out. I don't think that they're going to get her, though, as she runs on out.
That's where that spell shield is so effective.
Right. They do pick up one, though. They got Nautilus there in the back, and 15 minutes in, gold is dead even. They might have the initiative here on the dragon, but Orianna is hanging out in the middle lane. now forced to run away as Chris flashes on in. He wants this. He has his team with him. Forces the flash out of Oriana. The wall is flashed over by Doughboy, though. Echo goes aggressive. Forced to back up, though. Trades back and forth, but nobody finishes anything off. Draven and Alistair arrived too late to do anything, and now the top lane has come down as well.
I think Sejuani did a good job directing the attention away from Oriana there for a bit, which helped her survive. But with Sejuani there and Oriana against Echo and Anivia, she just wasn't able to put out enough damage to actually finish either of them off.
Okay, so taking stock of where we stand, 16 minutes in, that dragon that we thought was going to be the focal point of fighting just still stands, but the gold is dead even, just like everything in this series. Back and forth, and no clear leader here. Looking at how the gold is distributed up and down the map here, it's fairly even, except in the case of that ADC, where we see that big lead in farm on the side of Sivir, who is sitting on, still though, because of that turret, the same amount of money. Both of them with a bunch of money in the bank as well, ready to back and finish those items.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing a lot better ward coverage this game. I've noticed the river is littered with wards on both sides, so
That's right.
I'm glad they made that change.
Yeah. Now, this could be trouble here for Chris. Sejuani arrives, does not get the knock-up, and Chris dodges that one out very well.
Right, I think that was a little bit of a miscommunication maybe.
Yeah, did not look incredibly clean there. They weren't on the same page. Does save the ultimate, doesn't throw it in, and we get back into this farming pattern here as they decide where the next fight will take place. Both teams trying to get vision, trying to create a pick, have an opportunity to make a play on the other team, and snowball objectives off of that. We see Alistair here waiting over the wall if they go aggressive on his Draven.
Yeah, lots of ward clearing, lots of farming right now. Just waiting for the other team to mess up.
This has, looking at the chat here in Twitch, this has been a great Game 5. Oh, that dredge line just misses on Echo. He walks out. 18 minutes in, Dragon's still there for either team. Gnar going aggressive. He's about to pop Mega. Will he jump onto Jack with this? He misses the house and just goes back to farming. So he has done a good job, after we talked earlier, of catching up somewhat.
Right, they're
Now
pretty neck and
even,
neck
yeah.
on top lane.
Yeah, he does lose that fight though, forced to jump away from Poppy.
He just doesn't have the damage right now.
Yeah. Yeah, has a Black Cleaver completed, but just can't kill Poppy before she's able to battle back on him. This is, the way I look at this is, you know, both teams, and Gnar, if he's able to get into the team and Gnar them into a wall, can set up this huge wombo for his team, but it's just inherently more unreliable. Depending on how well Lansang can play around the Gnar bar, it's just a lot harder to set all of that up than it is a Sejuani and a Nautilus with a Sivir. They can pick the fight whenever they want.
For sure, and with a double teleport advantage on Snek, it's just might be a little bit scared here. They could teleport at any of the wards behind him at any time, so just waiting for the mistakes.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is right now. Neither team wants to be the one to make it, and that means both teams are just farming it out here. Vision around the Dragon Pit actually fairly dark for the red team right now, but Nautilus is here. Probably will be able to knock one down himself, but very little pressure around that dragon at all. Alright, pink ward down. Doughboy here thinking about it. Go ahead and does start it. He doesn't have a damage dealer here with him yet. So we hit the 20-minute mark of this game. Sivir has arrived. They're going in on it. Now they pull it back. As the fight breaks out, nice knock up. He gets Sivir out of the fight, but Echo doesn't have much of himself. Echo Voice starts this at half health. Now Draven is in a lot of trouble. Gets hit back by his own wall, forced to flash over. Level 7 Riven knocked away by the hammer. I don't think this fight is over. The dragon is still
going. There are a couple teams low. Anivia Landsat, and here we see the lack of a true tank really punishing them.
Definitely.
And that means that the Dragon goes to Land Snake. Alistair died in that fight, in that engage. Oh, they might have him caught here. No, it's just Nautilus. He survives. They lost their one tank, and all of a sudden, despite having multiple members of Land Snake's very low, they just didn't have the follow-up without Meganar.
And even with the Dragon aggroed and Team Land Snake taking damage, it was just an easy cleanup.
Yeah, they were just too far ahead in the sense that they had the front line and one team didn't. But now this could be a catch. Back Hop. No, he's able to walk out as they just work on the pink ward here. Nice wall there by Navy to buy his team some time. 21 minutes. Within 1,000 of each other on gold.
Yeah, Team Land Snake seems to have the upper hand with the team composition.
Absolutely. It all, swings on whether or not Nara's Mega. If Nara's Mega, there are a couple teams low, yeah. There are, but I clearly made a couple champions. Yeah, they do have a tank if they have a Magnar, so that's what they need to plan around. When Nara is mini and Alistair is down, they just can't engage, but...
Especially if Nars teleports down and he's up in the top lane, he's just become null and void for his team.
That's right. Alright, see them taking the vision. The Baron is up, but it's going to take a while, I think, before we see anybody take that risk. Just farming it out. Nar has taken a lead on Poppy in that category, though. It's done a good job catching back up.
I do like all of the vision for the red team right now. They have a couple of deep wards. Oh, it looks like a couple of them popped, so
Yeah,
they have some good river coverage.
Yeah, they do. It's true. Both teams do, and both teams just still looking for that fight, looking for that opportunity to make something happen.
I do expect this game to be a little slower because it is the championship game, and like you said, no one wants to make that game-ending mistake.
Yeah, and these teams lend themselves to that as well, where nobody, there's no assassins in the game. Nothing like that's going to happen. It's just going to be all about the engages and when those come. And it looks like Sejuani is around Baron, thinks better of running into Nara up there. Shafty able to back away as they just continue to fight over these pink wards. Echo could be in trouble here. He needs to tumble out of this. Gets knocked up though. Gets over the wall. Well, the farm game continues here. We're within 200 gold 23 minutes in. It doesn't get any closer than that. And here we go. Yeet getting some damage in onto Sivir, but not much more. The Anivka pick so far seems to be working out okay. Honestly, both middle laners just farming well.
Right.
And both have the same amount of kill participation.
Continuing to play it safe.
That's right. Now, Nar has walked down to the middle lane. He has Alistar in the bush.
Not a lot of objectives have been taken here lately. We have one tower down, 2 dragons down. That I feel like they need to do some pushing somewhere.
Yeah, somebody needs to make a play. We do see Draven heading that way on the bottom side, but just backs up, doesn't know where they're at. Everyone playing extremely cautious right now, looking for the opportunity, waiting for the other team to make that mistake. But 24 minutes in, Dragon spawning in another 2. You can't do that forever. At some point, something's going to break out here. Playing not to lose is, I believe, how it was described by Jared in the last game, and that seems to be what we're seeing right here. Neither team is really making any aggressive moves. We've seen a lot fewer of the long-distance parallel convergences by Echo to try to jump in and make something happen.
Right.
Now, Echoed Voice has done quite a bit. The wall goes up again. It's just always the Nautilus. It's not who they want to catch. But
Nautilus is doing a good job being that front line for his team, though. He's the one you want to take the walls.
Absolutely. Now,
echoed voice I want to touch on. He was the Oriana has been another contested pick this match, and he was able to pick it up this game. He's 201 with over 200 farm in 25 minutes. It's very good. We saw it there a minute ago. How much damage does Poke can do now? How aggressive is Echo going to go here? They go very aggressive. Nara is here. He's mega. He gets a 3-man Nara into the wall. Anivia trying to do it, but Jack knocks him out of the fight. Now on the back, and Shafty puts on the Unbreakable Will. Echo trying to make it out. He's not. He got the pop back up from the fight, and he picks up one. Very nicely done by him right there.
Right, that Guardian Angel.
Yeah, that was huge to have it that early. Now on the other side, the fight is still going on. Jack Love's Lamb gets walled off, gets a double kill though, and that is trouble. Now it's Narguts over the wall right as he turns mega. Anivia trying to pick somebody up on the backside. In the end though, it's a 3-for-1 in favor of the Land Snakes.
Yeah, finally we saw something happen there, and it did not go well for Team.
It was a
4.5
great
guys.
start. They just didn't have the damage. They have that slow. Oh, they forced the flashlight on us there. They have that slow ramping up build
Right.
for Anivia, and it just wasn't enough damage against the team. So let's go ahead and take a replay of that one. Maybe, anyways. All right, let's go ahead and take a replay of that fight. That was a very close fight. Here we see the start of it. Walk me through the important things here.
So we see Echo pop the Guardian Angel.
Yeah.
So this was him able to pick up that Sivir kill, which
Yeah.
took away a lot of the damage from the other team. He does get taken down himself, but not before we get some kills down here in the jungle.
Right. And look at that, Draven got knocked into the wall, just then got the dredge on, just got CC'd for days right there.
Right.
Did a lot of damage, just the positioning wasn't quite there, was too close to the wall and paid the price for it. It was very different if he was back where Anivia was with Shafty out there in front. Could have turned out very differently.
Yeah, and I think this just goes back to that team comp. Like picking Alistar, he's just not. His health just seems to be depleted. They're focusing
Right.
him, and they're taking
Hey,
out.
here we
their
go
tank.
again as we fight over the dragon. Sejuani on the backline, Magic running for his life, trying to kite Anivia alive as well. They have Shafty in front of them. They have a wall. Here comes the parallel convergence for the slow. Depth charge onto Echo. That's not necessarily where they wanted. Draven trying to get an opportunity to do damage. Anivia throwing out the shard. A teleport coming in here from Nara as Poppy waits in the top. The dragon is still alive. Hopping comes in, does not get the slow. On the other side though, Doughboy forced to run away from Echo. Lots of back and forth here, and actually seems like, at least for the moment, it's 4.5 white guys who have the upper hand. Now, will that work out? Draven showed himself bottom. I don't think they want to start this dragon without him. He needs to get up here. Instead, Shafty gets caught and dies. They did need to be there. Now Mastery 7 Riven gets hooked by the dredge line. Draven is still not there for his team. Nice ultimate there by Echo. Will they be able to finish off? The shield goes down on Tall X Guy. Mastery 7 Riven is a giant tank. Draven has finally arrived, but is it too late? He loses his Mega Gnar. He does a lot of damage. He can't finish off Jack Love's Lamp. They have Anivia here trying to get Cop. One more will do it. They are running away. This is a dangerous place to be. The shockwave does get two, but Chris is still chasing. Jack thinking about it, in the end just walks out. Draven took so long to get to that fight. If Magic had been there, they could have gone so differently. It was still good. It was a 1-for-1.
Right, and they're going to get the dragon.
Yeah, it's a 1-for-1 in which they are the ones who are ahead on Dragon here, though they actually choose not to take it. They want the turret instead, but had Draven walked up a little sooner, that could have been so good for them.
Sejuani's there to protect the tower a little bit, put a little bit of pressure on them.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to finish it off here. And they didn't get the dragon. Shafty clearing wards in the river. 30-minute mark. It's 1,000 gold lead, 6-10 in favor of Land Snakes. The only turret of the game belongs to 4.5. All right, there's the ultimate. This is trouble. Magic gets depth charge, gets
Stunned
frozen,
for
just
days.
instantly goes down. And then I don't know about that dredge line, but it sure picks up Shafty, who's forced to flash over the wall, use Unbreakable Will. That tower's not going to provide much protection as he actually ran away from him. He gets a four-man knock-up, but goes down anyways.
That's where I like this Nautilus pick over the Alistar pick. Nautilus is just so inherently tanky, just won't go down when Alistar would fall.
Right. And we see them, they're just not able to get turrets. They had such split focus, and now Gnar is in trouble. He's mega, he runs away, but he gets knocked up. Flashes, he's not going to make it out. It is Jack on Poppy who finishes it off. They sent Gnar to the middle, they sent 2 people to the bottom. They wasted about 15 seconds on Dragon there, and they lose everything as a result. The split focus, they get neither of the turrets, they don't get the Dragon, they lose people. And for a game that has been so close for half an hour, we just saw Land Snake take control right there.
Right, I'm not exactly sure what they were doing. They started the Dragon, they decided against it, they rotated down bot to try to get the turret. Sejuani was there to protect it. They just lost a lot of valuable time.
Chris gets dove right here. He has the rebirth out of the egg, though. It's very aggressive by Jack. Now this is a nice job by Yeet to stay on top of Poppy, who picks up the shield. Orianna has arrived, though. Now it's quite a few shields. Anivia working her way back into the fight. Teams on both sides coming into this. This fight is taking place behind a tower. Nice wall there by Anivia to get him off. Lansing tries to force down that tower. They get the knock-up. They actually have a stun there on Sejuani, but she's so tanky. Now the turret does go down. Shafty standing out in front. Parallel Convergence gets 1 stun. They get a knock-up on the ADC, but it's not enough as Shafty's team wasn't there with him, and he goes down. The shockwave barely dodged out. Now the ultimate by Sejuani will freeze Anivia, a 1-for-0. It wasn't there. They had a nice knockup. They had the ADC isolated, but they didn't have the team with him. And this game is just slipping away if you're 4.5 white guys.
Especially once that turret went down, they should have backed.
And there goes the catch. Draven walks towards the bush. They didn't have vision. He goes down because of it.
Vision is absolutely important in this game. If you don't know where the other team is, you're just going to get caught out, and it's going to be mistake after mistake, pick after pick.
Yeah, this game has had it all, but it is starting. It was so close for so long, but it is starting to take shape in that team composition, that double tank of Sejuani and Nautilus has proven superior to the sometimes take of Mega Gnar and Alistar.
Yeah, against the Nautilus, I just don't really like that Alistar pick.
Yeah, it's so hard to disengage him. A lot of other tanks or melee champions, Alistar is so good at keeping him off, but Nautilus is so sticky between his staggering blows and the dredge line and the depth charge when he needs it. It is just very difficult to get him off of you, and he's just living on top of Draven, whose positioning in these fights has been okay, but not quite good enough, and he has died before Sivir every time. And you see it 1-4-2 to 4-2-5. That's been the difference.
Yes, they've been able to get Sivir some kills. They've been able to starve Draven off. And that Alistar only having 2 assists, he is so far behind.
Right, that's exactly right. Now, I don't know where this game goes from here. The Dragon will be up before too long, a few minutes from now. Baron is up. We're actually seeing a teleport to the bottom lane. They're going to try to save his turret, but it does finally go down. But Jack is here. He's on Magic. Will Hosler be able to peel him? He knocks away Sejuani, trying to prevent the ultimate. They have their team coming in. All of a sudden, they turn it around. It's a 4v3 in their favor. But will they be able to get kills? There's so much tankiness.
There's so much health, so much tankiness.
Yeah. And that Draven being starved out, and now it's Gnar forced to flash away, jump away rather, gets hooked. Anivia has arrived. He's trying to tank. Mega Gnar is here. It's a 4 versus 5. It's a 5v5. It's everybody is here. Here we go. Will they depth charge down, but it's onto Mega Gnar. That's not what they wanted. This is a nice parallel convergence, but a good shockwave. Sejuani's in the back line. She doesn't go for it. The knockup on Poppy. They are just falling down.
Siver's in a lot of trouble. They go for it. He flashes away and survives, and Jack picks up the kill on Anivia. They can't finish Siver. Tall Guy is still alive in the backline, and his team is now in front of him, bearing down on this tower as 4.5 white guys have to back up and concede the objective.
That came out of nowhere.
They went. It was some poking down on the bottom, and all of a sudden everybody's there, and they got so close to killing Siver there, but they didn't, and then they get destroyed on their way back out. They lose the objective. They're now down 7,000 gold nearly, and this is, you can see it just a little more and more with every fight going the way of Land Snakes, picking up confidence as they go along. They were down 2-1. They fought their way back. They tied it in a close one last round. Now, as we hit the 36-minute mark, they have the base in their sights as well as the title, though this is bad news. This Tall Guy is going to go down, shut down the Gnar.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would have sent Siver top lane by herself. But like I was saying, the 3 tanks on the team, the 2 teleports, I think that 4.5 white boys just took too long to start engaging Land Snakes. Poppy was able to get tanky, Sejuani was able to get tanky, Nautilus was able to get tanky. I just don't know if they'll be able to have the damage to burst them down.
Right, and on that note, we see now what is a very important break point for them as Draven does finish the last whisper. He has that penetration. That's something. If he can survive, he can burn the tanks, but there's a lot of health to work through there.
Right.
And that doesn't do much for Anivia. She does have her own Void Staff, but there's just so much damage now here. Nautilus lands the dredge line. The wall separates him. He actually just takes no damage in the exchange. The shields are so strong on Nautilus and Poppy in this game.
That was a good job by Alistar to hit that knock-up because that could have went south real fast.
All right, here we go. Mega Gnar has popped here in the middle. Dragon is live. Both teams 10 in the middle.
It is Elder Dragon. This is going to be a very important dragon.
All right, flashes for depth charge down. That's only on Shafty. That's not what they want. He pops the Unbreakable Will. The wall goes out. It doesn't do too much. They try to get the flank by Echo. He takes a bunch of damage and deals none in the process. And like that, you can just already see they're poked down. And because of those shields, there is very little damage on Land Snakes. Between Echoed Voice with the command protect and the shield on Poppy and the shield on Nautilus and the health on Sejuani, they fight and they trade and they take no damage.
Right. That's got to be demoralizing for them. They should have been a little more aggressive in the beginning before it got to this point, because right now it's an uphill battle.
Look at this play. We see 4.5 white guys going for the Elder Dragon. We've seen throws at Elder Dragon all weekend. Now here they get the fight, they get a nice Gnar. Will they get the ADC? Trolex guy goes down. That is huge. The ADC is down to the command shockwave. Hits Stu, but they get one in the back as Orianna falls. Draven is alive. He's still alive. They take another. Shafty goes down, but he is able to take Poppy with him. Now Bad Cop on the run. It's a triple kill for Anivia.
That's exactly what they wanted. They baited that fight out from the beginning. They knew they weren't going to be able to burst down Elder Dragon fast enough, so they were just hoping for them to come charging down through that jungle.
And the difference is they got Siver. Let's take a replay of that one, as they're probably going to get this turret here. 10 seconds. I doubt they get much farther. We'll take it here once they recall. Will they try to force down another? Siver's up. Sejuani's up. Siver's up right now anyways. They're onto the turret though. They're gonna get it. It's gonna fall. There goes the turret. I don't think they're gonna get the inhibitor. Okay, they're gonna back. They're gonna recall. Let's take that replay while we get a chance. All right, you see here they're on the Elder Dragon. Look at just Tall X guy Siver, not where he wants to be. Him and Orianna, great flash Gnar by Mastery 7 Riven, and Siver dies before she can do anything at all. That's not what they needed. After that, Shafty taking for his team, and you can see this time
it is magic in the back as his team protects him and they're able to clean up. That was all about positioning. The tanks were trying to flank. They were not in front of the carries, and the carries got caught.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm really surprised that Sivir was down there almost by herself, and she just got taken out instantly.
Yeah, absolutely. That was very dangerous. That was the throw that the mistake, the window of opportunity that 4.5 white guys really needed to get back into this game.
But they did not take Elder Dragon. Elder Dragon is still up.
It is still up, as is Baron, 40 minutes into the game. Gold within 1,500. Just back and forth this entire series, this entire game. Now everybody posturing around the Elder Dragon. The fight could break out any minute here. Sivir is not here. Neither is Gnar or Poppy, though both have teleport available.
Yeah, that's a fight neither team wants.
Yeah. Look at this, though. Poppy just going in on Gnar here. Very sticky with those Iceborne gauntlets. Gnar turns around, acts aggressive, and thinks he's got his team, and Jack runs away. Sometimes acting confident is acting strong is better than being strong.
Right.
But this is actually a bunch of damage here on Echo. The teleport comes in. So this is Poppy burning. The teleport on the Hunt has been burned. Here comes the fight. Gnar's trying to teleport in as well. He's going to be small. The Gnar bar is not there. Magic's trying to make it out. Shafty's in the back. He's delaying the team for so long. This might work out, though. The shockwave is huge, and it takes down Magic, even though he flashes out. Sejuani will not die. The only one to fall was Nautilus. Echo is in the back. Anivia, though, still alive, but she just does so little to this team. And now, Gnar jumps away, procs the Guardian Angel. They get the stun off there on Echoed Voice. Will they be able to finish off? He flashes for it. That is an excellent Zanya's, and that means that Echo falls. Pops his own Guardian Angel, but dies again. It's a double kill for Poppy. A 3-for-1, 4-for-1 overall. Land Snakes right back in the driver's seat there.
If I was Echo, I don't think I would have popped that Guardian Angel. It was me against 3.
Yeah, he wants to get in there. That's what we talked about. He's made some great plays, but the downside is sometimes they don't work out, and this could be bad. Anivia is good at holding the base, especially with Shafty in front of him here. Gets the knockup, but the turret is taking damage. Unbreakable Will is popped. He has Draven, he has Anivia. He gets the flash knockup, then Jack gets jumped away. The wall misses, so base defended, but...
And a Draven all wasted.
Yeah, base...
It didn't hit anyone.
Yeah, base defended, but this is probably going to be the Elder Dragon right here. We do see this ward spotted out, so they're going to know they're there as we near the 43rd minute of this Game 5 of the best of 5 finals here at Tokyo and Tulsa. Landsnake on the Elder Dragon, and it is uncontested.
Yeah, Draven used his ult. There was no one who could steal that from them.
It goes down, and they get nothing back for that. They don't go after Baron. They don't even use the opportunity to get vision around Baron. And now with damage on that middle tower, we might see the Landsnakes just group up and try to brute force their way down the middle.
Definitely. They definitely need to get some vision around that Baron. I think they could take it if they get that vision
Baron
down.
will certainly be a fight right now, or they'll just go for the base. It's choose your own adventure here for the Landsnakes, as they have all the control, all the options available to them. Which will it be? Warding up the Baron. They go ahead and do start it up. This is, they might be able to just burn this thing down. Look at that.
They burned it down fast enough.
Elder Dragon, it's just down before any contest is possible. And now with the Elder Dragon buff, with the Baron buff, this base defense becomes nearly impossible. And here, Dredgeline lands on Draven yet again. The shockwave hits him. He goes down. This is so much trouble. It's a 2-for-0. They don't have an ADC. Anivia doing the best to defend the base. The wall gets Jack, but who is really caught here? He turns back around. His team is taking some damage, and they haven't yet broke the base, but it's a 5 versus 3.
Right, and with bot lane is pushing, they have...
Another hook lands. You're right, they have the options available to them. They're trying to take down this turret. Not on the same page here. Jack taking a bunch of damage. Now Sejuani arrived, Nautilus arrives. Echo trying so hard. They're taking a lot of damage, so the tower is going to fall. There it goes. The base has been broken as we hit 45 minutes. Land Snakes in full control.
Right, yeah, they need to get out of there and they need to heal up. They have their lanes pushing. They probably need to clear top real fast, and they can just go right back down the middle and do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. This is trouble right now. This Baron buff is still around for a decent amount of time.
They also have the ZZ Rod down bot pushing that lane as well.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That will keep that lane in their favor. Meanwhile, they pick up the wave on the top side. They're going to recall one last time. At least they hope so. Buy some items. Set up the push. Now, really, they should head to the top since they're going to have the wave on the bottom side always in their favor. But Sivir, not with the team quite yet. She's going to recall.
I think she was giving that bot lane that final push, and they repositioned the ZZ Rod to the top lane.
Yeah. So now where will they go? Where do they want to take what they hope will be the deciding fight of this tournament?
They're so tanky, I wouldn't be surprised if they go right down the mid lane, but they may want to get that bot tower too.
There's just not enough damage on the team of 4.5 white guys. They Echo built tanky. Gnar doesn't do enough. Draven is just all alone, and he has not had a good time of it with all the lockdown.
2 and 6, he just hasn't been able to thrive at all.
Yeah, there's just too much tanks for them to break through. Too many healths, too many disables. It's going to be so difficult then to defend against this still Baroned up for another few seconds team here. They land in the bottom lane, just instantly get damaged. They get the stun down on Echoed Voice, but he doesn't even take damage. Here comes a dredge line. Here comes the teleport in. Draven ult burn. This teleport is coming down on this minion. Jack has arrived. Yeet is in trouble. The shockwave hits two, and one of them's magic. Now the depth charge is down on magic. He gets knocked up in the air. They're shredding the tanks while the ADC can't do anything and gets sniped by Orianna. Now it's a 5 vs 4. Baron buff still on. Will they close it out here? The minions have arrived in the middle. Mega Gnar arrives, gets a couple, but his team is in so much trouble and he's forced to jump out. Anivia falls, Echo falls. Now Mastery 7 Riven will proc the GA, but he is going to go down as well. The inhibitor falls. I think this will do it. Team Landsnake down 2-1 in the best of 5 finals. They take the final fight. They take the game. They take the tournament. Congratulations to Landsnake winning here at Tokyo and Tulsa.
That was well fought.
Yeah, that was an incredible series for the grand finals start to finish. They went down 1-0, they went down 2-1, but they win in the end. What a great job by them to take the title.
Once again, I think Orianna made such a huge difference on their team.
Yeah, she was great. Great play out of Doughboy as well. I don't even believe he died there. Went 2-0-19 in the jungle. Just incredible team play by them, incredible coordination. And they just slowly, you could feel it slipping away, feel them getting a little more in control, a little more confident. And as we hit the 48-minute mark, they win the tournament.
You see the Randuins, you see the Locket on Sejuani. She was just the ultimate tank this game. Nothing could bring her down. She did exactly what she needed to do. She charged to the front line, protected her team. Yeah,
it was great. So, again, congratulations to our second place team. 4.5 white guys did very well this weekend. They make all the way to second place. They will win the RP. They'll win some cash, but Team Landsnake takes it down. So everybody, thank you for joining us here at Tokyo and Tulsa. It's been a great convention, a great weekend. Thank you for breaking in your casting experience.
And thank you for teaching me along the way.
So it's been a lot of fun, and I'm sure we'll be back here next year. So thank you guys for watching, and have a good night.